Chapter 370. Undong wouldn't be able to afford it no matter if he had to pay 5 or 50 grimoires. In fact, he didn't even have a single grimoire. A platinum grimoire was simply not a treasure that normal people could possess. Forget about normal warriors. Even those who had contracted a grimoire might not necessarily have a platinum grimoire. Moreover, even if they had such a treasure, who would be willing to give it up? Who would be able to give it up? It was not impossible to obtain a platinum grimoire. For example, Yu Yang could kill someone and steal their treasure. Obviously, Undong didn't have that kind of ability. Those who could possess a platinum grimoire were almost all innate rankers. Trying to steal their grimoires? That was no different from courting death. The mysterious man wearing a wide-brimmed hat stood up and nodded towards Jiada courteously. "Mr. Jiada, if you don't mind, please let me take charge of the matter of recovering the losses. In fact, I am also Mr. Undong's creditor. Just now, Mr. Tai Tan won 2 million gold for me. Although it's impossible to get back 50 platinum grimoires for Mr. Tai Tan, I believe that he will receive the greatest compensation. If you don't mind, please bring Mr. Tai Tan to Undong's mansion to rest." "No, that mansion already belongs to Mr. Tai Tan now." "Of course, Mr. Chen. In the entire Tong Tian Tower, no one would doubt your absolute fairness." The fat-toed Jiada respectfully handed over the pledge in his hands. Facing this man wearing a wide-brimmed hat, Jiada actually chose to trust him without any reservations. Without any hesitation. The mysterious man called Mr. Chen couldn't see his face clearly because of the hat, but the smile on his face remained unchanged. "Maybe I need 3 hours. Mr. Jiada and Mr. Tai Tan, please wait patiently. In the next meeting, I hope to discuss the mine business with Mr. Tai Tan. I believe that at that time, he would already be the new owner of the mine." Jiada bowed for the second time. "Thank you very much, Mr. Chen. With your help, all of our troubles can be easily solved." The mysterious Mr. Chen didn't even look at the fainted fat Undong and shrugged his shoulders. "I am very grateful to Mr. Tai Tan for making me Undong's second biggest creditor. Actually, doing such a small thing is as easy as lifting a finger." Yu Yang immediately took back the 5 platinum grimoires. Everything else would be left to the mysterious Mr. Chen to handle. While he was having a good meal in Anton's spacious and magnificent mansion and taking a short nap, the mysterious Mr. Chen, a serious-looking old man, and a smiling businessman came in. Outside the door, there was a large group of people kneeling outside. They were densely packed, and there were probably no less than 100 of them. The fat-toed Jiada had completely treated himself as Yu Yang's spokesperson. On one hand, he welcomed them. On the other hand, he ordered Undong's beautiful maid to pour wine for the guests. "You're welcome." The mysterious Mr. Chen sat in front of Yu Yang. His voice was as melodious as a clear spring. "Mr. Tai Tan, first of all, I would like to express my gratitude to you. Firstly, you have allowed me to earn a small fortune. However, what moved me even more was the second point. That is, you are willing to trust me. You're a trustworthy person." "Of course, I'm not worried," Yu Yang replied. "No matter who it is, it's hard to trust a stranger in the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. Especially in the Thunder Fortress, it's even harder." The mysterious Mr. Chen smiled. "I'll get straight to the point. Actually, I'm the same as Undong. I'm also from the Qilin continent. Usually, I don't come to the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower, and even less to the Thunder Fortress. However, recently, I have no choice but to come here frequently. I'm not lacking in money, just like you. We're not people who lack money to spend. However, because of some reason, the Qilin continent needs thunder ores. These ores are extremely important to the Qilin continent. Unfortunately, Undong has never been willing to sell the thunder ores to his hometown, the Qilin continent, in order to earn money. During this period of time, I've always wanted to buy Undong's mine, but I've never been able to do so, until Mr. Tai Tan appeared." "Is that so?" Then it seems that I've done a good deed. Yu Yang smiled indifferently. Andong is very rich and also very cunning. No matter if it's the Thunder Fortress or the Qilin continent, he's very popular. However, he made a mistake. He doesn't know how determined I am to get the Thunder Ore, and he can't see through your strength. Stupid and confident him. He will probably be dismembered by Demon Eye in the future, because both Nightmare and Tiger Nian, whom he invited, died in front of you. This kind of weakening is a huge blow to the Thunder Fortress, and even more so to the Demon Eye. And Dong will definitely not be able to bear this responsibility. Alright, let's not bother about a person who's about to die, let's talk about something else. The mysterious man wearing a wide-brimmed hat, Mr. Chen, raised his head slightly. His handsome face and eyes that were as bright as an eagle's could be seen from the shadow of the hat. He looked at Yu Yang. Mr. Tai Tan, if you're willing to sell the Thunder Ores to the Qilin continent, then, other than getting double the market price, you'll also gain the true friendship of the Qilin continent's rankers. Just like what you said, I'm not lacking in money. Maybe we can use another method to trade. Yu Yang placed a magic crystal on the table. It was a gold-ranked level 5 green-spotted flying dragon crystal, Yu Yang's spoils of war just now. No matter if it was a high-leveled magic crystal, dragon crystal or treasure, Yu Yang would never complain about having more. He only felt that the more the better. Other than his own beasts, his sister Yu Bing, the little girl Yu Shuang, his second sister Yu Yu and Anan all needed a large amount of magic crystals to level up their beasts. It was really enough. There was still Yi Kong, Fatty Hai and the Li brothers. Those guys were all big spenders. No matter how many there were, it wouldn't be enough. If there were too many, there was still Hui Tai Lang who ate magic crystals like rice. That fellow, even if he was given a warehouse full of magic crystals, he would probably be able to finish it quickly. As a world-exterminating demon wolf, this fellow's leveling up was different from other beasts. It didn't seem like it would take the path of a holy beast to transform into a human. It would always maintain its wolf form, but it would still have the strength of a holy beast. In fact, it might even be more powerful and more intelligent. The only shortcoming was that it needed countless magic crystals. Luckily, Hui Tai Lang didn't reject anything, unlike the Bloody Queen Red who was picky with her food. As for little one Li, she simply looked down on those things. He didn't know how to raise this little Lamia lowly. Although magic crystals are also a necessity for us, they aren't as scarce as Thunder Ores. I agree to this condition. There's no problem in using magic crystals to trade. Mr. Chen muttered to himself for a while, then nodded and agreed to Yu Yang's request. Do you have treasures like Lustrous Branch, Everlasting Leaf, Firefly Bamboo, Spiral Wood or Wisdom Fruit? Yu Yang stated another condition. If Mr. Chen has a way to get them, I will buy them at 10 times the price. 10 times? Jiao was shocked when he heard that. When he heard Yu Yang talk about treasures like Lustrous Branch, Everlasting Leaf and Wisdom Fruit, he really wanted to remind Yu Yang that no one would sell those things. Gold coins could buy a lot of things, but there were some treasures that money couldn't buy. To be able to enter the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower, everyone was a ranker, a super elite of each continent. Everyone needed the wisdom fruit. That was something that beasts could use to evolve into holy beasts. There would never be too many treasures that could increase one's intelligence. However, Jiao was still extremely shocked by Yu Yang's offer of 10 times the price. Those things were originally expensive, yet Yu Yang was still asking for 10 times the price. That price was really tempting. At least as a merchant, he was completely moved. 10 times the price was definitely a fatal temptation. However, Mr. Chen shook his head. Mr. Tai Tan, we do have some of these treasures, but because our juniors also urgently need them, I can only apologize to you. Your offer is very sincere, but the wisdom fruit and the others are really hard to obtain. Yu Yang was only probing Mr. Chen just now. He had already expected Mr. Chen's reaction. Other than merchants, who would sell the wisdom fruit to a true ranker. He looked at the mysterious Mr. Chen. Although we have just met, I have a good impression of Mr. Chen's honesty. I really want to obtain lustrous branch, everlasting leaf, and wisdom fruit. If you are willing, I can use some martial spirit pills to exchange for them. Martial spirit pill? Mr. Chen stood up in shock. Oh. The merchant who was sitting at the side was so shocked that he fell to the ground. Pooh! The fat toad Giada, who was drinking tea, spat out a mouthful of tea. He almost choked to death. Even the serious and old-fashioned old man's expression changed slightly. The mysterious Mr. Chen took a deep breath. He held his wide-brimmed hat, as if trying to calm his mind. He tried his best to suppress the excitement in his heart. Mr. Tai Tan, do you really have martial spirit pills? Yu Yang nodded. Mr. Chen took another deep breath. I have been searching for martial spirit pills for more than 20 years, but I have never been able to fulfill my wish. Mr. Tai Tan, you are really my biggest lucky star. I hope to use a lustrous branch, 2 wisdom fruits, a bottle of fairy spring water, and a fully ripe hard-shelled dragon fruit to exchange for 2 martial spirit pills. Is that possible? Can you tell me why you want to exchange for 2 martial spirit pills? Yu Yang asked. Because I am a father, the father of 2 children. Mr. Chen paused for a moment, then finally told the truth. Your son has a good father. Yu Yang suddenly thought of fourth mother. His heart was moved, and he nodded in agreement. No problem. Yu Yang could have agreed to Mr. Chen before. Not to mention anything else, just the hard-shelled dragon fruit was enough to make Yu Yang nod his head. This thing was the main ingredient of martial spirit pills, and it was even rarer. With it, Yu Yang could make more martial spirit pills. However, Yu Yang originally wanted to sell the normal martial spirit pills to Mr. Chen. After being touched by Mr. Chen's caring attitude towards his child, Yu Yang decided to give him 2 martial spirit pills that he had specially made, not for anything else, but for the fatherly love that he longed for. He remembered that fourth mother had sold all of her jewelry, accumulated 1,000 gold, and bought the Spirit Beast Awakening Knowledge Pill for the pitiful guy. Although it wasn't him, Yu Yang had replaced the pitiful guy after all. Furthermore, Yu Yang had enjoyed all of fourth mother's love, which was not any less than the pitiful guy's. I have never envied others, but at this moment, I envy your child. Yu Yang handed Mr. Chen a small jade bottle. Inside, there were 2 specially refined martial spirit pills. I have never been as grateful to someone as I am today. Thank you. At the same time, I also want to say that I envy 2 people, and that is your parents. Having a son like you, I believe that is the greatest pride of their lives. Mr. Chen carefully put the jade bottle into his bosom. He did not put it into the storage ring, but put it into the pocket of his clothes close to his heart. Then, from the storage ring, he took out the lustrous branch, wisdom fruit, fairy spring water and hard-shelled dragon fruit and gave them to Yu Yang one by one. He waited for Yu Yang to accept them, and suddenly bowed. Mr. Tai Tan, originally, I still had a lot of deals to discuss with you, but my heart is too excited right now. I will take my leave for now and bring the good news back. Please forgive me, I hope to visit you tomorrow to apologize. Take care. Yu Yang's heart was not moved at all. He had obtained the lustrous branch and the wisdom fruit, as well as the hard-shelled dragon fruit. With these, he could continue to make martial spirit pills, and Yu Bing's treant might be able to level up again. Most importantly, Mr. Chen's actions had evoked Yu Yang's longing for fourth mother. He also decided to return to the soaring dragon continent, go to the mirage, and see fourth mother and the naughty little girl. Chapter 371. Returning to the soaring dragon continent, Yu Yang immediately teleported to Tian Luo Imperial City the moment he came out of Tong Tian Tower. Originally, there were a few warriors from the Warriors Guild who saw Yu Yang coming down from the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower and wanted to hold a welcoming ceremony. They wanted to take the opportunity to ask Yu Yang about the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. Yu Yang didn't have time to care about them. He hurriedly accepted their name cards and left after saying, "I have something urgent." The few warriors respectfully sent Yu Yang off with their eyes. Although they didn't know who Yu Yang was, Titan Yu, the third young master of the Yu clan. In the soaring dragon continent, if there was anyone who didn't know about him, they would be blind and deaf. The second time he attacked the Yu clan castle, the third time he killed an innate rancor, chasing after the Eastern Goblin tribe, attacking the Demon Palace, defeating the Big Dipper Alliance, fighting against Shun Tian, killing his fake father. All these heroic deeds had long been told by the mercenaries and warriors. Some of them had even been recorded in the history books. In the academy, student Yu Yang's battles were taught by the teachers as a typical battle example. His summoning, his cultivation, his beasts, his battle skills, everything had become a model for the warriors of the world to imitate and learn from. Weak plant-type beasts, tragic special-type beasts and useless inherent skills, under Yu Yang's influence, had all turned over a new leaf. Even the 3 worst battle skills in the world, the steel chopping blade technique and the crushing stone hammer technique, which mercenaries disdained to train in, had their status increased rapidly. All because of Yu Yang's words. Once, a student from the Ivy Academy's death class came to the Yu clan castle to visit Yu Yang and asked, "What is the best battle skill?" At that time, Yu Yang's answer was, "The best battle skill is the one that can defeat the enemy." The Prince of Zijin's 8 crescent blade techniques might not necessarily be stronger than the steel beheading blade technique, and the Thunder King's sky-piercing hammer technique might not necessarily be better than the stone-crushing hammer technique. Battle skills were dead, but the most important thing was how to use them. Between an innate's steel beheading blade technique and a warrior's 8 crescent blade technique, which was more powerful? There is no such thing as the weakest battle skill, there is only the weakest warrior. Similarly, there is no such thing as the weakest beast, there is only the weakest master. As long as one puts in enough effort, even a warrior who trains in the steel-chopping sword technique and contracts a dog can become an elder, or even higher. Yu Yang said that to motivate the students. He was afraid that the elites in the death class would be too eager for success and bite off more than they could chew, so he deliberately said some harsh words. He never thought that these words would be spread by the students of the death class. Not only the Ivy Academy, even the other academies in the Soaring Dragon continent used these words to educate their students. The elites in the death class had a certain foundation, and they also had good teachers like the Old Cunning Fox, the Eagle-Eyed Guy and Grandma Wu Ting. It was certain that they would become successful. If there were no accidents in the future, they would at least become level 6 elder rankers. Hence, Yu Yang dared to say with certainty that they would become elders, if they put in more effort. The same theory might not be applied to other people. If a guy with low potential learned the steel-chopping sword technique and contracted a dog beast, his future would definitely be ruined, unless he could put in more effort than others by 1,000 times, like the ascetic practice saint, who had trained hard at level 1 for more than 10 years, only then would he be able to change his fate. It was impossible for everyone to become a level 6 elder. However, Yu Yang's words and actions had indeed changed a lot of bad habits in the Soaring Dragon continent. At least when it came to contracting beasts, people no longer favored the bird-type and beast-type beasts. When the golden-crowned thorny flower queen reappeared in the world in Yu Yang's hands, when she easily defeated the almost invincible king of black light, when Yu Bing's Treant shone brilliantly in the 100-school elite tournament, warriors in the Soaring Dragon continent no longer dared to look down on plant-type beasts. Through the Yu siblings, people saw a fact. Plant-type beasts were not only not weak, they were extremely strong, far stronger than the bird-type and beast-type beasts. As for insect-type beasts, it was the same. The reaper mantis that could hunt down giant dragons showed everyone how strong insect-type beasts were. Yu Yang rarely went out, so he didn't know how famous he was in the soaring dragon continent. It could be said that the three great kings, including Jun Wuyu, were not as famous as Yu Yang. Some people might not know the other kings, but almost everyone knew who the Yu clan's third young master was, a 20-year-old innate ranker. The unbelievable Yu clan's third young master gave many people great encouragement, especially the younger ones. The example of the Yu clan's third young master told the world a truth. As long as you work hard, nothing is impossible. Hence, it would be hard for Yu Yang not to be famous. After teleporting to the imperial city, when Yu Yang told the guards that he was the Yu clan's third young master and asked the Tian Luo emperor to allow him to enter the mirage to see Fourth Mother, the guards were in an uproar. What? After a moment of shock, everyone stood up and saluted Yu Yang under the lead of a general. If it wasn't for this third young master, the Eastern Sky King, the Western Sky King and a few other rankers from Tian Luo Kingdom wouldn't have been able to return from the ancient passage. Forget about saving Tian Luo Shinkong, old General Ma and his 3,000 soldiers at Hopetown, forget about saving the 100 schools elite students at the Champion Island, forget about destroying Zijin Kingdom, Green Summit Sect, Western Lion Pagoda and so on. Just his identity as Luo Hua City Mistress Fiancé was enough for them to pay their respects. City Mistress Fallen Flowers was the pride of Tian Luo Kingdom. If it wasn't for the fact that she wasn't interested in the throne, she would have been the next empress. What made the people of Tian Luo most proud was that City Mistress Fallen Flowers had already become an innate. This was personally announced by the Heavenly Imperial Guardian Night Empress. Night Empress' original words were, "I have good news for the people of Tian Luo Kingdom. Today, we have an innate ranker who is fully qualified to become our Heavenly Imperial Guardian. My little Fallen Flowers, with her own hard work and the help of her fiancé, Yu clan's third young master, has become an innate ranker. This is the second young innate in the history of the Soaring Dragon continent after the Yu clan's third young master. 3 days after receiving the news, it became a day of celebration for the people of Tian Luo Kingdom. Although she was not as exaggerated as Yu Yang, City Mistress Fallen Flowers, as a woman, had surpassed countless powerful people in the world and became an innate. This kind of outstanding talent was hard to come by. How many powerful people were there in the Soaring Dragon continent? And how many rankers could only sigh at the sight of an innate? Countless of them. They either dominated a region, had amazing talent, or trained hard for hundreds of years, but it was still difficult for them to reach the innate realm, turning from youths into white-haired old men. City Mistress Fallen Flowers. Although she was not as abnormal as the Yu clan's third young master, it was definitely a miracle in the Soaring Dragon continent for a young girl to reach the innate realm. Tian Luo Emperor Hua Su-ri did not receive Yu Yang. He only asked people to bring him to the imperial palace's back garden to wait, and then sent Fourth Mother and the little girl out from the mirage. Yu Yang did not understand why Hua Su-ri did not want to see him. That old fellow Jun Wuyu always looked for him. They were both emperors, but why was there such a big difference? Could it be that Hua Su-ri had some secret that he was afraid of him seeing? Everyone thought that Yu Yang's inherent skill was secret's inherent skill, which allowed him to see other people's secrets within a certain range. Yu Yang seriously suspected that the Emperor Hua Su-ri was a female. Previously, when he accidentally entered the Night Empress Mirage, he felt that something was wrong. It was a pity that he did not pay much attention to it at that time. Later on, he did not have the chance to see Hua Su-ri, this Loki emperor. Hearing the sound of footsteps, Yu Yang stopped his random thoughts. He turned around and looked up. Fourth Mother, who was slightly thinner, was wearing a plain white robe. She was holding the little girl Yu Shuang's hand and walked towards him. When Yu Shuang saw Yu Yang, she immediately pouted and her eyes turned red. She cried and threw herself into Yu Yang's embrace, crying her heart out. Don't cry, baby, don't cry. Yu Yang hurriedly comforted her. Sanner, my Sanner has grown up. Fourth mother looked at Yu Yang for a long time. Her eyes were also red, sparkling, and translucent tears were rolling down her beautiful eyes. However, she bit her lips and did not cry in front of Yu Yang. Only then did Yu Yang see her plain white robe. He was shocked. Fourth mother, what's going on? Your fourth uncle has left. Fourth mother closed her eyes. 2 lines of clear tears slowly slid down her jade-like face. What? Yu Yang was shocked when he heard this. Although fourth uncle couldn't get better after taking his special medicine, the poison in his body shouldn't worsen. How could it be? Could it be that after he entered the prison Emperor Divine Palace, something happened to the poison in fourth uncle's body? The medicine that the Qilin girl taught him was not effective? When he came out from the prison Emperor Divine Palace, if fourth uncle's illness was in danger, why didn't anyone inform him? Originally, he wanted to find the best medicinal ingredients in the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower to refine the earth lotus poison repellent pill that the Qilin girl mentioned. He never thought that fourth uncle would actually leave. Sanner, don't think too much. Your fourth uncle and Miss Feng gave up voluntarily. It's not your fault. Fourth mother was afraid that Yu Yang would let his imagination run wild and blame himself. She hugged him lightly and told him what happened. After you entered the prison Emperor Divine Palace, there were 2 innates who brought your fourth uncle and Miss Feng here. They said that if they couldn't obtain the Heaven Ascension art of the Heaven Stairway, they would kill your fourth uncle and Miss Feng, as well as the baby in Miss Feng's belly. At that time, the heavenly imperial guardians of Xia and Tian Luo Kingdom came out, but those 2 were very powerful. They couldn't save your fourth uncle and Miss Feng. Are these 2 innates called Shun Tian and Thousand Goblin sect leader? Yu Yang felt that only these 2 fellows had the ability to fight against the heavenly imperial guardians of the 2 kingdoms. No, it was said that they were the subordinates of the Black Hell King. The Black Hell King was the prison Emperor Divine General from 6,000 years ago. Only Ji Zun and Night Empress could fight against him, but they didn't come back. I don't know about the Heaven Ascension art. I only know that my sister had carved it on the steel in the Valley of 100 Flowers. In exchange for the safety of your fourth uncle and Miss Feng, I had no choice but to tell you this secret. Your fourth uncle and the Feng clan's miss had sworn not to be enemies. The Feng clan's miss had cut open her stomach and gave birth to a daughter. She passed away in a weak state, and your fourth uncle passed away with her. Sanner, from now on, only the few of us will depend on each other. Your fourth uncle will never come back. He will never come back. Fourth mother hugged Yu Yang and wept bitterly. Her tears fell like rain, wetting Yu Yang's shoulders. Fourth mother. Yu Yang felt extremely guilty. Although he had tried his best to save his fourth uncle, he didn't do his best. He felt that there was still time, especially since the poison was slow-acting. Although the situation wasn't good, with the Qilin girl's guidance and the improvement of his alchemy skills, he thought that he could slowly cure his fourth uncle and Miss Feng when he found the best medicinal ingredient. Yu Yang's idea was to first do his own things and improve his alchemy skills. He didn't expect that his fourth uncle, who had treated him like his own son, could not wait any longer and left. Although he was a guy from another world, he was still grateful to his fourth uncle for raising him. If it wasn't for the pitiful guy asking for the Spirit Beast Awakening Knowledge Pill, fourth uncle wouldn't have died. After the incident with such a promising son as his adoptive father, fourth uncle never made any requests to Yu Yang. He even rejected his help and didn't allow Yu Yang to stay by his side. He was afraid that he would infect his hopeful son. The silk of a spring silkworm ends when it dies. The tears of a candle dries up when it turns to ashes. This thought flashed across Yu Yang's mind. Although Li Shangyin wrote this poem to describe undying love, it could also be used to describe family. Fourth uncle was a filial son, a good husband and the best father. No matter if it was the pitiful guy in the past or the current Yu Yang, even if he didn't know that his adoptive son was different from before. Fourth mother, I will definitely take revenge for fourth uncle and Miss Fong. I will definitely behead the prison Emperor Divine General and his subordinates as a sacrifice to my fourth uncle. Yu Yang's heart was burning with anger. He didn't want to provoke the prison Emperor Divine General at first, but this guy just had to come knocking on his door. No matter how powerful he was, he was definitely going to die. Silly Sanner, your fourth uncle and I only hope that you can live a good life. We don't want to take revenge. You are the only man in the family now. You have to take care of your sisters. If anything happens to you, how do you expect us to live? How do you expect me to explain this to my sister? Promise me, don't take revenge, otherwise your fourth uncle won't be able to rest in peace in the underworld. In his will, he warned you many times not to mention anything about taking revenge. Sanner, can you listen to fourth mother for once? Fourth mother didn't allow Yu Yang to take revenge. Although she was sad, she could see the truth. Even the heavenly imperial guardians of the two kingdoms couldn't take back fourth uncle and Miss Fong. How hard would it be for Yu Yang to take revenge alone? Thus, she would rather endure this suffering and let Yu Yang and her daughter live a good life. She didn't want to take revenge. At least, she didn't want to think about it now. Fourth mother, don't cry, I will listen to you. Yu Yang agreed, but he couldn't suppress the anger in his heart. With great difficulty, fourth mother finally stopped crying. The little girl was tired from crying. She had already fallen asleep in Yu Yang's embrace. There were still a few tear stains on her face, making Yu Yang feel sad. If he had worked harder, maybe she wouldn't have lost her father. Originally, fourth uncle was just like an NPC to Yu Yang. But now, Yu Yang felt the sorrow of his loved ones passing away. Seeing fourth mother's heartbroken crying and the little girl sobbing, Yu Yang couldn't maintain his calm as a man from another world. In this soaring dragon world, that warm little house in White Stone City was his second home. Although he was a man from another world, the people around him were his loved ones. He definitely couldn't let something like fourth uncle happen again. Protecting fourth mother, protecting the little girl and Yu Bing, protecting his family, this was his responsibility, a man's responsibility. Yu Yang suddenly felt that he had grown up. He felt that the responsibility left behind by fourth uncle had suddenly been placed on his shoulders. In the past, Yu Yang also had a similar mentality. However, only after fourth uncle passed away and he was the only man left in the fourth branch, did he truly understand what responsibility was. His state of mind rapidly changed. Through this incident, Yu Yang had a realization that he never had before. He had grown up in an instant. He had truly grown up. Now, he could finally be called a man. Although there was no movement on the surface of his body, in Yu Yang's heart, there was an earth-shattering change. Responsibility allowed him to break through his previous mentality. His realm had risen to a whole new level. Chapter 372. At first, Yu Yang wanted to bring fourth mother and the little girl away from Tianluo Imperial City and live in the Grimoire world, but fourth mother did not agree. Night Empress also said that it is very safe in the Mirage, even innates would not be able to enter easily. No matter if I stay in the Yu Clan castle or follow you, it would greatly affect your training. Fourth mother does not want to affect you. I only hope that you can live up to expectations. Come over when you are free. In the future, when you have the strength to fear no enemies, we will move back to our home in White Stone City. Alright. Yu Yang did not insist and stayed in the Mirage to accompany fourth mother for 2 days. In the end, he held the little girl's hand and returned to the Yu Clan castle. Elder Yu Hai looked even older. His back was still straight. He took out the will that his fourth uncle had left for Yu Yang and nodded. I'm fine. When your grandmother and your father passed away that year, I had also endured those 2 blows. Your fourth uncle's matter won't crush this old bag of bones of mine. As long as I am alive, the Yu clan will still exist. If I leave, you will be the one to look after this clan." Jun Wu Yu and the old cunning fox also came over to comfort him, but they did not say anything long, they only patted Yu Yang's shoulder. After reading the will, Yu Yang was silent for a while. After that, he asked the stewards to send out invitations to the 4 great clans, 3 great imperial clans and 4 great sects to come to the Yu clan castle to witness the little girl contracting a grimoire. If it was someone else, they would definitely scoff at this. How could contracting a grimoire be done so easily? Even if the members of the 4 great clans could be contracted easily, it would not be done so easily. It was everyone's first time witnessing a grimoire being contracted. However, this invitation came from the world's most abnormal and unfathomable Yu clan third young master, so no one doubted this possibility. In this world, was there anything more unfathomable than becoming an innate at the age of 20? The miracles that the Yu clan's third young master had created were not just 1 or 2. The extraordinary feats that he had done could not even be counted by the fingers and toes of ordinary people. For example, the Demon Palace's great demon King Baruth had once issued a serious protest to the Innate Alliance's elder Nangong, claiming that Yu Yang had killed his way into the Demon Palace for no reason, smashed the Demon King's statue, killed countless demons from the demon army, and even stole their beasts and killed their allies who were seeking protection from the demon abyss. The great demon King Baruth said that this had seriously violated the Innate Alliance's treaty. The Soaring Dragon Continent's rankers must give him an answer, otherwise the demon abyss would use all its strength and officially invade the Soaring Dragon Continent. It had always been the Soaring Dragon Continent's rankers protesting against the Demon King. Seeing the Demon King protesting against the Soaring Dragon Continent's rankers, this was the first time in 1,000 years. People didn't know what Elder Nangong said to Great Demon King Baruth, but Baruth didn't mention anything about invading the Soaring Dragon Continent for revenge. However, everyone knew one thing. That was the Yu clan's third young master, who had dared to barge into the Demon Palace. Forget about whether this brat had taken liberties with the Demon Queen, Demon Concubine or abducted the Demon Princess. How many people in the Soaring Dragon Continent could invade the Demon Palace and return safely? It seemed that in the past 300 years, there was only one abnormal person like the Yu clan's third young master. Everyone could not worship the Emperor, but there was no one who did not worship heroes, especially human heroes who could enter and exit the Demon Palace as if there was no one there. No matter who was jealous or disdainful, if they wanted to find fault with the Yu clan's third young master and wanted to use this opportunity to show off their awesomeness, everyone would shut their mouths. There was only one sentence: if you have the ability, why don't you go to the Demon Palace? Moreover, Yu Yang was an innate ranker with limitless potential. Ji Zun was his introducer. Even if Yu Yang did not send out invitations, everyone would have taken the opportunity to come and build a relationship with him. If this brat could build a good relationship with him, then everything would not be a problem. Tianluo Kingdom's East and West King, Old General Ma and Hua Su-ri's envoy, Feng Xiaoyun, Feng Kuang and Feng Qisha from the Feng clan, Xue Wendao from the Xue clan, Yen Qianzhong and Yen Pejun from the Yen clan, White Stone City Master, Master Golden Blade, Eagle-Eyed Man, several princes from Xia Kingdom, Zijin Kingdom's envoy, Lion Pagoda's outer elder, Floating Mist Sect's elder Ku Ming, Crystal Palace's dragon ambassador Bai Bo, Spirit Pavilion's cold star swordsman. Those who came to visit were even the big sects, big clans and city masters that Yu Yang did not invite. They came uninvited. On the surface, they came to watch the ceremony, but in reality, they wanted to take the opportunity to build a closer relationship with the Yu clan and squeeze into the upper-class circle of rankers. For example, the Hai clan that Fatty Hai was from and the Yi clan that Yi Kong was from were small clans that no one cared about in the past. Now, because the disciples of their clans had a good relationship with Yu Yang, they had become upstarts. They even received the warm welcome of many small clans and small sections. Many rankers brought their own children. Of course, they did not expect Yu Yang to take a fancy to their children and betroth his sister, Yu Shuang, to their own children. No one dared to hope for this. If he was not an innate, he should not think about his sister, otherwise they would not be a good match. These people's intentions were to let Yu Yang see if he had special potential. If he could give a few pointers to their children, then they would benefit from it for the rest of their lives. One must know that the most abnormal thing about Yu Yang was not his own cultivation, but his ability to find talents. Trash like Yi Kong and Fatty Hai, as well as ordinary mercenaries like the Li brothers who would disappear if they were thrown into a crowd, had all become geniuses after a few months of training under Yu Yang's leadership. They were so strong that they were almost on par with Xue Tanlang, Yen Pejun and Feng Qisha, who had been carefully nurtured by the four great clans. Looking at plant-type beasts, everyone said that they were trash, especially the thorny flower. For thousands of years, all the rankers said that it was the best of the trash and could only be used as a teaching tool in the academy. Who would have thought that with just a few tricks from Yu Yang, he could even create the legendary Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen that could kill the Blood Prison Demon King. This was the reason why the Yu clan's third young master was so awesome. Not only was he abnormal, he could also make his companions abnormal. Other than a few powerful people, Elder Yu Hai did not go out to welcome the guests. Yu Yang was even more lazy to move. He was an innate, so he had this privilege. If he ran out to welcome everyone, wouldn't he scare the guests to death? Would they dare to enter the door? Second Uncle Yu Ling was extremely busy. Yu Ling's position as the substitute clan master was smooth sailing. He was also good at diplomacy and banquet. After a few family changes, he had become more open-minded and less arrogant. Even if it was a guest from a small clan or a small sect, he would still welcome them warmly. This made the Yu clan's image rise in the hearts of the people. Yu Tian and Yu Yen, who had their strength crippled, had also become a lot more obedient, wholeheartedly training in low level. Now that they were greeting the guests, they did not mind coming out to help. As for innate, they did not even think about it. They hoped that they could become a level 7 overlord or a level 8 emperor in their lifetime. That was their dream. Of course, their original dream was also like that. Yen Pejun and Feng Qisha specially visited Yu Yang. Originally, they wanted to greet him as their father would greet him. However, Yu Yang was very generous this time. He personally helped them up and talked to them, showing that he wanted to guide them. This made the two of them extremely moved. As for Yen Qianzhong and Feng Xiaoyun, they were so moved that their eyes were brimming with tears. There was a saying in this world, it's not afraid to compare goods, it's more afraid to compare people. Even among the three great killing stars, Xue Tanlang's strength was already at the top. Forget about becoming a level 7 overlord or a level 8 emperor. Xue Tanlang was about to become an innate. It was only a matter of time before he broke through. But now, Yen Pejun and Feng Qisha were struggling. Even Yi Kong, Fatty Hai and the Li brothers who were trash had caught up to them and even surpassed them. How could Yen Qianzhong and Feng Xiaoyun not be anxious? Feng Xiaoyun was still fine. Although the Feng clan and the Yu clan's relationship was not as close as the Xue clan, it was still passable. The Withering Bones Feng Kuang and Yu Yang were even good friends. But Yen Qianzhong had a headache. The Yen clan and the Yu clan did not see eye to eye, so they were always thinking of ways to attack the Yu clan. His son Yen Pejun and Yu Yang even had a little conflict, so this matter was really unbearable. The Yen clan will forever remember today's kindness. Seeing that Yu Yang did not mind going over, Yen Qianzhong almost patted his chest and called Yu Yang his boss. Brother Pejun's talent is outstanding. He is a dragon among men. He can even become an innate in the future. Uncle, you don't have to worry about this. If there are any small setbacks, Yu Yang will also help Brother Pajun break through to the innate realm. Uncle, please sit down, I will talk to Brother Pajun and Brother Chi Sha. Yu Yang did not want to teach Yen Pajun at first. Feng Chi Sha was still okay, but Yen Pajun and the others were not very sincere in the past. However, after the incident with fourth uncle, Yu Yang had matured a lot. In any case, no matter how much Yen Pajun trained, he would not be able to achieve much. Yu Yang estimated that even if Yen Pajun was extremely lucky, he would only be able to reach innate level 5. If he was a little bit weaker, he would only be able to reach innate level 3. With this kind of strength, in front of the current Yu Yang, he would be killed instantly. He was not a threat at all. By the time he reached the innate realm, Yu Yang would have already killed his way to the heaven realm and started a war with the three great leaders of the heaven realm, Mingyu Guang, Void and Jiu Shao. By the time Yen Pajun reached innate level 5 in another 200 to 300 years, Yu Yang estimated that he would have conquered the entire heaven realm. If that was the case, why would he care about Yen Pajun? It would be better to give him a small favor and let him protect the soaring dragon continent for him. It was better to have a friend than an enemy. If people like Yen Pajun were to be roped in by the demon abyss or the other tribes, he might cause trouble. Instead of that, he might as well control him and let him work for him. Wouldn't that be better? The four great clans were the foundation of the Xia Empire, they had to be maintained. Right now, because of his appearance, the four great clans were on good terms with each other. It was the golden period. Once the soaring dragon continent's overall strength rose, the demon abyss would not be able to sit still. If those old fellows died, without a few juniors like Yen Pajun and Feng Chi Sha to support them, even if he went to the heaven realm, he would not be able to be at ease. Brother Pajun, Brother Chi Sha, this way please. Yu Yang talked with the two of them for an hour, making Feng Chi Sha and Yen Pajun feel as if they were suddenly enlightened. They were extremely grateful towards Yu Yang, they almost did not stop thinking about him. Fourth mother did not come back to attend the ceremony, so Yu Yang specially went to see her. Fourth mother was touched by Yu Yang's actions, but she also felt that he was a little mischievous. Yu Shuang was still young, what did she know? The house was full of people and countless rancors. It would be best if she did not cry in front of the guests. Fourth mother's worries did not appear. On the contrary, Yu Shuang, this mischievous little girl, was not afraid of any powerful or famous person. Even if Jun Wuyu, the Xia emperor, sat on her knees, she would still pluck the beard of an innate. As for Yu Yang, he had no choice but to carry her on his shoulders and let her ride on his wildebeest. Choosing an auspicious time, under the gaze of thousands of rancors in the soaring dragon continent, Yu Yang held his sister's hand and walked out of the hall. Accompanied by the old cunning fox, Jun Wuyu and his grandfather, Elder Yu Hai, they walked towards the martial arts training plaza that could hold tens of thousands of people. Step by step, they walked towards the center of the arena. Yu Shuang, this girl, did not have stage fright at all. Her white hands were still holding onto a stick of candied haws that Yu Yang had specially made. If the clan guards cheered loudly, she would bite on the candied haws and imitate Jun Wuyu, the emperor's style, waving to the audience a few times. I am very happy to invite everyone to witness my eighth sister's grimoire contracting ceremony. Fourth uncle has left, leaving me two lonely little sisters. I, Yu Yang, am not talented, but I am afraid that I will disappoint fourth uncle's trust. I hereby vow that I will do my best to protect my two little sisters and bring them up on behalf of my father. I don't care about their achievements, I just hope that they will be happy, healthy and safe every day. I also hope that all the sisters in the world will have brothers to protect them. I also hope that they will be safe and happy. Yu Yang picked the little girl up and used a wet towel to wipe her dirty mouth clean from eating. Then, he kissed her bright and clean forehead. Brother Shao San, let me kiss you too. Hooray! The little girl kissed her brother coquettishly. She felt that it was not enough and kissed him again. Below the stage, the applause was like thunder. Seeing this warm and touching scene, many of the elders' eyes reddened. Especially the fifth elder, he even secretly wiped his tears. Yu Yang brought the beaming little girl to the center of the arena. Then, he took out the bronze grimoire that he had brought back earlier from his lich ring. The grimoire contracting ceremony had begun. Chapter 373. Yu Shuang followed Yu Yang's instructions and gently placed her hands on top of the bronze grimoire. Close your eyes, don't think about anything. Why don't you think about what you like to eat? What delicious food do you like brother to make for you? Think about it. Yu Yang's words were actually just for everyone to hear. He lightly blindfolded Yu Shuang's eyes and continuously transferred innate qi between her eyebrows. That was the true basis of the contract. A long time ago, the little girl Yu Shuang had helped Yu Yang to open up a few of his meridians. He would definitely be able to contract a grimoire, but the duration of the contract was not certain. Furthermore, a normal contract was not enough to shock him. Yu Yang hoped for something more powerful. He wanted everyone to be shocked by his sister's contract. Yu Yang had already tested it countless times on Shui Wuxia, Princess Sisai, Fallen Flowers and Sickly Beauty. To him, innate qi was nothing. If he was not afraid of others finding out, Yu Yang would have taken the opportunity to use Nirvana Flame to purify Yu Shuang's body. Of course, there was no need to rush. The golden light slowly overflowed from Yu Shuang's hands and gradually increased. In the end, it was as gentle as the lake or the sea. It did not have the cold and overbearing feeling of other rancors. It only overflowed and expanded like a cloud or fog. When it reached its limit, all the golden light shot up to the sky. That pillar of light was incomparably tall, more than 10 meters tall. Everyone who saw this golden pillar of light, no matter who it was shocked. What did the golden pillar of light represent? It represented the potential of a contractor. Normal contractors did not have the existence of a light pillar. Normally, their bodies would flash with light and they would soar 2 to 3 meters for less than a few seconds. It was already very rare for a contractor to reach 3 meters. Those who could reach 5 meters and above were already extremely rare geniuses. Those who could surpass 10 meters had the possibility of becoming an innate rancor. The ascetic practice saint had praised the old cunning fox for reaching 20 meters when he was promoted to innate. He felt that the old cunning fox had the possibility of becoming a heavenly imperial guardian in the future. Today, Yu Shuang contracted a grimoire with a golden pillar of light that was tens of meters tall. Although the beam of light from contracting a grimoire was not as accurate as the beam of light from leveling up to an innate, it was not much worse. If he was not crippled by some unknown factor in the future, leveling up to an innate would definitely not be a problem. If the light pillar when advancing to innate was 100% accurate and represented a person's future growth, then the light pillar when entering the grimoire of opportunity represented one's potential. It could be filled with potential for a lifetime, or it could be transformed into growth. Potential, if there was, it wouldn't necessarily be amazing, but if there wasn't, it would definitely be tragic and tragic. No matter what, the potential of the golden light pillar that was dozens of meters tall was enough to stun all the experts present. Grimoires could not be contracted according to the owner's wishes. Some made the contract during the day, others at night. Some made the contract while awake, others in their sleep. Generally speaking, it was difficult for contestants to see their own contract light pillar. As for outsiders, unless they coincidentally saw it, or like Yu Yang invited everyone to watch, it was difficult for them to see other people's contract light pillars. If they did not see it with their own eyes, the experts present would not dare to believe that Yu Shuang, this little girl, actually had such high potential. Looks like it's 3 times mine. The old cunning fox could not recover from the shock for a long time. Brother Hai, I can't help but envy you. It's fine if your grandson is abnormal, but now even your granddaughter is so powerful. Junwoo Yu guessed that this potential was most likely related to Yu Yang. Yu Shuang, this little girl, definitely did not have this kind of terrifying potential. Of course, he would definitely not expose it. On the contrary, he would even help Yu Yang to keep this big secret. I really didn't know. Elder Yu Hai smiled bitterly. He also somewhat understood that it was Yu Yang's doing, but he did not think that this brat could cause such a big commotion. The golden light pillar flowed backwards, causing Yu Yang, the little girl's body, to tremble. She weakly fell down and fainted. Yu Yang knew that the grimoire had inputted some knowledge into her brain. Her little brain was still unable to bear it, so she fainted for a while. This was a type of brain protection. Among the people who contracted grimoires, there were only a few who had this kind of situation. This also proved that the grimoire had inputted more knowledge into the owner's brain. That was why it became like this. Everyone's knowledge was different. Some people didn't even have the chance to faint even if they wanted to. After the bronze grimoire was successfully contracted, the pages automatically flip. Yu Yang, who was carrying the little girl, looked down and was also shocked. Although she was mischievous and a little gluttonous, this little sister of his really gave Yu Yang a big surprise. Yu Shuang, this little girl, was not the least bit inferior to her older sister, Yu Bing. She was different from Yu Bing, who had passed the 12 zodiac temples and obtained dual inherent skills. Yu Shuang, this little girl, was born with dual inherent skills. Pearl inherent skill. Using pearl-type treasures, summon the spirit of a beast to battle. Innate skill level 1. Sweet inherent skill. When the owner of the inherent skill is hungry, there is a certain probability that a weak beast or item will temporarily transform into a sweet dessert. Before the dessert returns to its original state, if the transformed dessert is eaten, it will cause irreparable damage or permanent digestion. This inherent skill will become stronger as the level increases. Current innate skill level 1. I'm going to faint. When Yu Yang saw this, he sweated profusely. This inherent skill really had Yu Shuang's style. Ha 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 ha. The Eastern Sky King and the others swarmed up to see. They were first dumbstruck, then burst into wild laughter. The old fox's tears even flowed out. This was too funny. Although any kind of inherent skill was possible, they had never seen such a playful inherent skill like Yu Shuang's before. Of course, no one in the audience dared to look down on this sweet inherent skill. It was fine if it was a normal item, but if it was some kind of divine weapon that was turned into a dessert and eaten by this little girl, that would be too miserable. As for beasts, it was also unbearable. Beasts that were stronger than Yu Shuang would probably be fine, but beasts that were weaker than her might be turned into dessert and eaten by her one day. Fortunately, this inherent skill had a lot of restrictions, otherwise it would be too overpowered. The rankers discussed spiritedly. Everyone was optimistic about the sweet inherent skill, because they had long since come to a conclusion that the more restrictions an inherent skill had, the more useful it was. Yu Yang's view was different from everyone else's. He thought that the sweet inherent skill was only a good inherent skill. The truly awesome one was the pearl inherent skill. An inherent skill with more restrictions was indeed a better inherent skill. However, Yu Yang also knew that the more simple and useless an inherent skill was on the surface, the more awesome it was. After waiting for a long while, Yu Shuang finally woke up. Yu Yang made her lightly flip the page, and the guardian beast appeared in front of everyone. It was a little person with beautiful shells as wings, and its name was Pearl Beauty. Pearl Beauty. Special type, humanoid intelligent creature, silver ranked level 1, living entity. Offers 3 rainbow pearls to its master every day. Skill, auxiliary spirit. Following Yu Shuang's summon, this little thing appeared in a flash in a bright purple light. From the looks of it, it was only the size of a finger. It was similar to the Thumbelina in the fairy tales, except that it had beautiful shells as wings, and its body was as small as a dragonfly. It was petite and exquisite, and it held a big silver pearl in its hands. In front and behind its body, there were also 3 purple, blue, and gold pearls revolving around it. When this pearl beauty appeared, it bowed to Yu Yang and the others. It looked very polite. Then, it gracefully flew in front of Yu Shuang and extended the pearl to its master, who knew that it was actually playing with Yu Shuang. When Yu Shuang extended her hand, it flew away a little, making Yu Shuang unable to touch it. Yu Shuang insisted on catching it. She chased after it all the way down from the stage, laughing like a bell, overjoyed. Everyone looked at each other in fear. Such an intelligent beast? Heavens, how far was this pearl beauty from becoming a holy beast? Even if there was a gap in the future, becoming a holy beast would probably be a sure thing. Being born a silver-ranked beast was already exaggerated enough, but the most shocking thing was still her intelligence. The pearl beauty was born with intelligence. This was something that others could only dream of. Seeing that the Yu clan's younger generation had so many geniuses, many people couldn't help but sigh. As expected of the 4 great clans that had thousands of years of inheritance, just a random little girl could surpass thousands of descendants. How long would it take for a child like Yu Shuang to appear in the soaring dragon continent? If it wasn't for the Yu clan's 3rd young master who was even more abnormal, she would probably be qualified to be the Yu clan's number 1 in hundreds of years. This generation of Yu clan's younger generation was really incredible. Each one was stronger than the other. Previously, they thought that Yu Tian and Yu Yen, the 2 world's top 10 outstanding Yus, were already powerful enough. They never thought that Yu Feng, who had such high potential, would suddenly appear. Before Yu Yang appeared, he was the Yu clan's hope. Not mentioning Yu Yang, the abnormal Yu clan's 3rd young master, Yu Bing, who had turned the tables in plant type, Traiant, intense poison and combat skills, had almost beaten Feng Qi Sha to the ground. Now there was Yu Shuang, who had 2 inherent skills, plus the intelligence of the pearl beauty and a potential pillar that was tens of meters tall. It would be difficult for this little girl to be useless in the future. Come, my darling, come to me. Jun Wu Yu's empress' motherly instincts were aroused. She hugged the little girl and kissed her. She then said to Yu Yang, 3rd young master, I really like this darling. How about letting her be my goddaughter? Darling, do you like being a princess? If this little body of hers were to wear princess clothes, being a princess is not fun. Yu Shuang immediately shook her head. There are a lot of delicious food and sweets for a princess. Do you want to be one? Before the empress finished speaking, Yu Shuang's eyes lit up and immediately nodded in agreement. There was no other way, sweets were invincible to her. Jun Wu Yu and Elder Yu Hai looked at each other. It was not impossible for the empress to recognize a goddaughter. It was just that the seniority was messed up. However, the seniority was already messed up. Princess Sisai was Jun Wu Yu's daughter, but she had to marry the Yu clan's 3rd young master. Jun Wu Yu also called Elder Yu Hai as Brother Hai. It was not a big deal for the empress to recognize a goddaughter now. It was just that the seniority would be messed up. Since it had already come to this, Jun Wu Yu did not care about the seniority being messed up. Seeing that the empress recognized a future innate as her goddaughter, all the women present were extremely regretful. Of course, no matter how regretful they could not snatch her from the empress. Moreover, even if they wanted to recognize her, the Yu clan's 3rd young master might not agree. This girl was his precious darling. How could an ordinary person recognize her as their goddaughter? Those who understood this point all started to applaud one after another, congratulating the Yu clan. Yan Qianzhong and the other clan masters of the great clans clenched their fists tightly, forcefully suppressing the idea of marrying the Yu clan. Forget it, the little bastard at home was not worthy of her. Mentioning it would just be asking for trouble. It was better to be honest and not look for trouble. If the little girl Yu Shuang successfully contracting a grimoire had shocked everyone so much that they needed to spend a lot of time to digest it, then the next sentence that Yu Yang said completely shocked everyone silly. Everyone suspected that they had heard wrongly, including the old cunning fox, Jun Wu Yu and Elder Yu Hai. However, when everyone saw the other party's shock, they understood that they did not hear wrongly. What did you say? Eastern Sky King grabbed Yu Yang's collar. Brat, what do you want to do? Nothing, I just wanted to give it a try. Yu Yang's smile was as bright as the sun. Even though everyone saw his smile, they couldn't help but shiver. Yu Yang swept his gaze across everyone and finally said with certainty, You didn't hear wrongly. Just now I said that I have a good-for-nothing beast. Its strength is extremely weak, so I had no choice but to let it try to contract a grimoire and increase its strength a little. Yu Yang turned around and shouted towards the crowd, Hui Tai Lang, you damn dog, hurry up and come up here. I am busy and you actually dare to laze around and sleep? Hearing this, Hui Tai Lang eagerly came up to the stage. Everyone was dumbfounded. It wanted to contract a grimoire. Chapter 374. What did it mean for a beast to contract a grimoire? Divine beast. The difference between a divine beast and a holy beast was that a divine beast had a grimoire, while a holy beast did not. Ordinary innate rankers would train by themselves in the early stages, and in the later stages, they would rely on holy beasts to guide their master's growth, merging with the holy beast's abilities and slowly advancing to the innate realm. Only a few people could rely on their own strength to train, but this kind of amazing person was as rare as phoenix feathers and unicorn horns. Among the innate rankers, those who could advance to the innate realm without relying on external forces were definitely 1 in 100. With the help of a sacred beast, it was possible for a martial artist to reach the innate realm. What would happen if he had a divine beast? No one knew the answer. That's because, apart from the extremely powerful supreme martial artist of the human race, it was estimated that no other innately possessed a divine beast. At least, it was not recorded in the records of the innate alliance. Every cultivator believed that as long as they had a divine beast, they would be able to reach the supremacy realm. Even powerful people like Shun Tian and the Thousand Goblins sect leader were no exception. They felt that the biggest difference between them and a supreme martial artist was that they lacked a divine beast. Today, the Yu clan's third young master had actually said in front of all the higher-ups in the Soaring Dragon continent that he wanted his beast to contract a grimoire. In other words, he was prepared to nurture a divine beast in front of everyone. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes and heard it with their own ears, they wouldn't have believed that this was the truth. Also, if this wasn't said by Yu Yang, but by someone else, even if it was an innate, everyone would think that that person was crazy. Was it possible to let a beast contract a grimoire and let a beast be reborn into a divine beast? Anyone else would say that it was impossible. No matter what method it was, people had tried it before. In the past 1,000 years, no one had succeeded. Only one person had a divine beast, and that was Ji Zun. No one knew what method she used to cultivate her divine beast. Of course, Ji Zun would not tell others. The reason why people knew that Ji Zun had a divine beast was because of the invasion of the demon abyss. Back then, Ji Zun wasn't even Ji Zun yet, and he didn't have such a reputation. The powerful demon kings in the demon abyss gathered together and broke the innate alliance's treaty to attack the Soaring Dragon continent. The entire Soaring Dragon continent was in danger of being destroyed. Before this, the Ao Jia continent and the Gu Feng continent, which were also inhabited by humans, were also destroyed by the invasion of the demon abyss demon army. The weaker Soaring Dragon continent was in a precarious situation. At that time, Shun Tian, the Thousand Goblins sect leader, Chong and I, the Black Prince, and she and the other innate rankers didn't interfere with the Demon King's actions. In the innate alliance, only Elder Nan Gong came to dissuade them. He even took the initiative to stand on the soaring dragon continent's side to defend against the Demon King's invasion. This battle was even more dangerous than the one 3,000 years ago. If the human warriors were defeated, then the whole soaring dragon continent would fall into the enemy's hands and become a wasteland. Humans would become the demons' slaves or even food. However, this battle did not really start, because Ji Zun appeared. She summoned the divine beast and easily killed the two strongest demon kings, intimidating all the powerhouses. Her unfathomable strength and the legendary divine beast suddenly appeared in front of everyone. Whether it was the human martial artists or the demon army, they all trembled in fear. From then on, there was another supreme in the world. She was extremely domineering and rewrote the Innate Alliance's treaty. Until today, all the innate rankers had to abide by the treaty. Even if they started a war, they had to abide by the treaty. Otherwise, Ji Zun would personally kill the person who violated the treaty. What made all the innate rankers relieved was that Ji Zun didn't care about anyone. She didn't restrict anyone's progress. She only wanted to explore the higher levels of Tong Tian Tower and explore the legendary Heaven Realm. Although it was a long time ago, the rankers who knew about the incident were still full of respect for the divine beast. The divine beast was a living being of another realm. It was unimaginably strong. Let me introduce to everyone, this is my family's watchdog. It's called Hui Tai Lang. Its strength is very weak. As you can see, it's only bronze-ranked level 3. When Yu Yang said this, Hui Tai Lang immediately nodded his head and used a foreign language proficiently, woof, meow, to greet everyone. No one could understand Hui Tai Lang's foreign language, but everyone knew that this beast was psychic. Not only was it smart, it was ridiculously smart. In other words, it was cunning. Other than not knowing how to speak human language, it basically knew all the tricks that humans knew. It was also the best at flattering its master. It wasn't a holy beast and couldn't transform into a human, but it was smarter than a holy beast. It even knew how to disguise itself. It was obviously a powerful sky demon wolf king. Not to mention normal warriors, it had even killed low-level innates. However, this cunning fellow had disguised himself as a bronze-ranked level 3 iron-backed demonic wolf. If it wasn't for the fact that it had an even more abnormal and exaggerated master, people would really be worried that this Hui Tai Lang would become the destroyer of the soaring dragon continent and cause a huge mess. With Yu Clan's third young master around, people didn't think much of Hui Tai Lang. After all, like master like slave. Master was abnormal, there was no reason for his beast to be trash. Hui Tai Lang was very powerful, but compared to Yu Yang's other beasts, it wasn't very outstanding. For example, there was the Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen that evolved from a spitting thorny flower, the Bloody Queen that evolved from a Golden King beast to a Holy Beast, the one and only Tong Tian beast, and the Barbarian Cow that evolved from a Guardian Beast. Yu Clan's third young master's beasts weren't something that normal people could imagine. As for the dragon-eating Reaper Mantis, needless to say, it couldn't compare to Hui Tai Lang at the moment. If it wasn't for the quintet seeking golden mice, the platinum-ranked Reaper Mantis would probably be at the bottom. People knew that Yu Yang had a beast, but they didn't know that it was even stronger. Very few people like Jun Wu Yu and the old fox knew that Yu Yang had an extremely strong diamond-ranked demonic Lamia Loli. Normal warriors didn't know. Furthermore, no one knew that the demonic Lamia Loli had a diamond-ranked grimoire. Otherwise, everyone would probably faint from fright. The warriors of the soaring dragon continent had never seen the Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen, Bloody Queen, and the Barbarian Cow in action. Hence, everyone ranked Hui Tai Lang first. They felt that it was the strongest. The mercenaries talked about Grey Wolf's deeds with great relish. Everyone knew what it did and what it ate every day. Some busybodies would even come to the Yu Clan castle to see Hui Tai Lang abuse Yi Kong, Fatty Hai, the Li brothers, Shui Tan Lang, Prince of Tian Luo, and the other young elites of the soaring dragon continent. The strong Yi Kong and Fatty Hai were beaten up by Hui Tai Lang every day, battered and exhausted. Shui Tan Lang and Prince of Tian Luo were the same. If they didn't know better, they wouldn't believe that the person covered in injuries and exhausted in the training field was one of the three great killing stars, Shui Tan Lang. Occasionally, people would see Yen Pejun and Feng Qi Sha coming to the Yu clan castle to be abused. The two of them were even worse. In front of the bronze-ranked level 3 Hui Tai Lang, they couldn't even withstand a single blow. Not to mention them, even the old fox who had already become an innate couldn't do anything to Hui Tai Lang. This was the Yu clan's third young master's beast. A beast that had never been contracted but was loyal, had no noble birth but had terrifying combat power. It was not specially trained but was extremely intelligent. Hui Tai Lang. Of course, other than the abnormal Yu clan's third young master, no one else had such an abnormal beast. However, even so, it was still a little difficult for everyone to believe that Hui Tai Lang could contract a grimoire. No matter how intelligent, cunning or strong it was not the standard to contract a grimoire. It wasn't even a holy beast, it couldn't even transform into a human, it couldn't even speak the human language. How could it contract a grimoire? Even if it could contract a grimoire, could it understand the words on it? Could it use a summoning grimoire? That was definitely impossible. Only a holy beast that had transformed into a human and possessed high intelligence had the qualifications to contract a grimoire. In other words, even Shun Tian's guardian beast, Emperor, couldn't contract a grimoire. How could Hui Tai Lang, the third young master's watchdog, contract a grimoire? Everyone, please bear witness. I'm just trying randomly, I might not succeed. Yu Yang took out a bronze grimoire. People thought that the higher the level of the grimoire, the longer the potential and the better the guardian beast. However, Yu Yang knew that it was the exact opposite. The higher the level of the grimoire, the harder it was to contract a grimoire. In any case, unless it was like Yu Yang's grimoire, it would fall back to a bronze grimoire. Using a gold grimoire or platinum grimoire would be a waste. Under everyone's gaze, Hui Tai Lang stretched out a wolf claw. After a long while, there was no reaction. Everyone secretly heaved a sigh of relief and felt their hearts feel better. Luckily, Hui Tai Lang wasn't so abnormal that he would immediately transform into a holy beast. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to live anymore. Hui Tai Lang, you're really an idiot. Stupid dog, you wasted my time. To think that I still had a little bit of expectation. Can't you work harder? Yu Yang's anger soared to the heavens as he beat up Hui Tai Lang, causing it to be covered in cuts and bruises. Others didn't know, they thought that Yu Yang was angry and wanted to vent his anger on Hui Tai Lang. Only Hui Tai Lang knew that this was a special reward from its master. The harder it beat, the more innate qi it would receive, and the more comfortable it would feel. If it was someone else, they wouldn't even have the chance to get beaten up. Woof! Hui Tai Lang, who had been sent flying more than 10 meters away, ran back eagerly, showing off that it would put in more effort this time. If it's still not enough, this young master will kill you and eat dog meat pot. Yu Yang's words made everyone sweat profusely. Only the Yu clan's third young master would dare to say such words. If it was someone else, forget about dog meat pot, they might even make human meat pot. Furthermore, it was such a strong beast, not only did he not contract it, he even beat it to death. This really made people feel sorry for him. Even if he had a good beast, he shouldn't waste it like this. People could never understand why Yu Yang only liked beautiful beasts, and why he didn't contract such a good beast like Hui Tai Lang. They couldn't understand why he beat it up. Even if Hui Tai Lang wasn't strong, wasn't smart, and didn't know how to bootlick, he shouldn't beat it to death. If other people's beasts were to be looked down upon by their masters, their loyalty would also drop. Damn, if this happened to Hui Tai Lang, Even 10 million beasts would have betrayed him long ago. When Hui Tai Lang saw people's overflowing love, he couldn't help but feel a little annoyed. When its master beat it, that was an expression of love. What are you guys doing? What can you do about it? Eat this. If you can't eat it, this young master will really eat dog meat pot tonight. I'm not joking with you. Yu Yang stuffed something into Hui Tai Lang's mouth. His speed was so fast that people couldn't even see what it was. However, if they knew that this was the astral nucleus of the Heaven Realm ranker, Huang Sha, who was a level 8 innate, they would definitely vomit blood from internal injuries. Meow. Hui Tai Lang swallowed it in one gulp and pretended to be a cat, rubbing itself against Yu Yang's legs with all its might. Scram! Yu Yang kicked it with his thighs, sending it flying 100 meters away. Woof woof! Hui Tai Lang felt extremely comfortable. Originally, the energy from the innate level 8 star nucleus almost caused his body to explode. However, the innate chi from this kick suppressed the energy from the star nucleus, causing Hui Tai Lang to feel extremely comfortable. Taking advantage of the suppression time, Hui Tai Lang quickly ran back. Its front paw reached for the bronze grimoire, but its eyes looked at Yu Yang, indicating that it was ready and waiting for its master to order the contract. Everyone held their breaths, and the entire place was dead silent. Jun Wu Yu, Old Fox, Elder Yu Hai, Eastern Sky King, Western Sky King, Feng Xiaoyun, Shuewen Dao, Yen Qianzhong and other rankers of the Soaring Dragon clan all clenched their fists. Feng Kuang, Eagle-Eyed Man and Dragon Ambassador Bai Bo leaned forward so much that they almost fell. They forgot everything else as they watched, witnessing this important moment. Everyone could see that Yu Yang was definitely not joking. He definitely had confidence, otherwise he wouldn't let Hui Tai Lang come out to contract the grimoire. Everyone didn't know what he had fed Hui Tai Lang. They only knew that the energy in Hui Tai Lang's body had suddenly increased by 1,000 times. Perhaps a historical moment would be born in the next second. Would the Soaring Dragon Continent's first divine beast be witnessed by everyone? Would it really succeed? Yu Yang stretched out his leg and pressed Hui Tai Lang's front paw onto the bronze grimoire. On the surface, he was purposely torturing Hui Tai Lang, but in reality, he was using his innate chi to help Hui Tai Lang, just like how he helped Yu Shuang previously. Only the most meticulous people would notice this detail, such as Jun Wu Yu and Elder Yu Hai. They immediately looked at each other and nodded at each other. Success. As long as Yu Yang made his move, the contract would be 90% successful. Golden light spread out from Hui Tai Lang's front paw. It wasn't very bright, instead, it was a little dark golden, and a little dull. However, this dark golden light was very realistic. When it shone on everyone's face, it was as if they were smeared with a layer of golden liquid, turning everyone into a metal statue. A pillar of light shot up to the sky. Everyone raised their heads to look, and all of them sucked in a breath of cold air. God, that height was even higher than the little girl just now. Where would the human warriors put their faces? The dark golden pillar of light suddenly shot back. Hui Tai Lang's body shook violently, and a large amount of flames and thick smoke came out of his mouth and nose. His tail became illusory, like a shadow or fog. In an instant it turned into a metallic texture. Without waiting for people to react, it turned into a mercury-like appearance, as if it was about to melt. When the mercury was about to drip onto the ground, it turned into dark golden sand under everyone's dumbfounded gaze. The bronze grimoire gradually changed shape, becoming smaller. The pattern on it was completely different from the human's bronze grimoire. A faint circle of light surrounded the bronze grimoire. Slowly turning the pages, the sharp-eyed warriors could see Hui Tai Lang's image on the grimoire. Right now, even a blind person could see that Hui Tai Lang had successfully contracted a grimoire. A historical moment in the Soaring Dragon Continent had officially begun. Finally, under the witness of all the warriors, a divine beast was born in front of everyone's eyes. It was Hui Tai Lang, a beast that did not contract with its master, but was nurtured by its master with all his might. A beast that would never tire of being beaten or scolded by its master. A beast that was smarter and more cunning than humans. A beast that surpassed humans in contracting a grimoire. Because of its master and it, a glorious page would be written in human history. Of course, Hui Tai Lang did not care about those things at all. After successfully contracting a grimoire, Hui Tai Lang, who was beside himself with joy, turned into a long body like a sea cucumber, wriggling on the stage. In the next moment it turned into a pair of wings, flying upside down in the sky. In the next moment it turned into 3 heads, calling out meow, woof in the middle, and hua in the right, harmonizing with each other. In the next moment it turned into a sandstorm, flying upside down in the sky, and purposely blew up the skirts of beauties, using this to please its master. It knew that this was its master's hobby. Die right now. Do you think this young master's limelight is something that you can steal? I'll let you be so arrogant. Yu Yang flew into a rage. How could he, the master, endure such an arrogant beast? Meow. Hui Tai Lang lowered its head and tucked its tail between its legs, just like a child who had done something wrong. It received a good beating and scolding from Yu Yang. Hui Tai Lang didn't do it on purpose. It was just too happy. Finally, the compassionate empress couldn't stand it anymore and stopped Yu Yang's scolding. Otherwise, Hui Tai Lang would be out of luck for a long time. Hui Tai Lang took the opportunity to carry Yu Shuang on its back and pretended to be the most obedient guard dog. Finally, it appeased Yu Yang's anger. Forget it, let's see what kind of inherent skill and guardian beast this damn dog has. As soon as Yu Yang said this, all the people who were still in a daze rushed over as if they were shocked by a sudden bolt of lightning. Every summoning grimoire would activate an inherent skill and grant a guardian beast. Could it be that this Hui Tai Lang also had one? Chapter 375. Hui Tai Lang contracting a grimoire was a fact. Jun Wu Yu and the old cunning fox quickly recovered from the shock. Anyway, it was not strange for Yu Yang to do something shocking. This brat was abnormal. To be able to become an innate at the age of 20, it was not strange for Hui Tai Lang to contract a grimoire now. This was probably just the beginning. In the future, maybe the Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen and the Bloody Queen would each have a grimoire. What is it? This king wants to see what kind of inherent skill this big dog has. The Eastern Sky King was one of the few fierce people who did not care about Yu Yang at all. From his point of view, so what if this brat was powerful? No matter how powerful he was still his son-in-law. This brat had kidnapped his only precious daughter, and he had not even settled the score with him. This is? The Western Sky King, who was squeezed on the other side, immediately widened his eyes. Transformation inherent skill. Transforms under certain conditions, level 1 inherent skill. It looked extremely simple. But everyone knew that this transformation inherent skill was not simple. Thinking back to the transformation of Hui Tai Lang's body, it seemed that there was more than one. It could stretch, grow wings to fly, transform into a Cerberus without a problem. It could even transform into sand and become a tornado. These already included strengthening type, element type, beast type and special type. With this transformation inherent skill, it was almost impossible to find Hui Tai Lang's weakness. Even if there was, it could be adjusted through transformation. In this way, Hui Tai Lang, who had no weaknesses, would have an unlimited increase in battle power. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Abnormal, this transformation was definitely an abnormal inherent skill. When they looked at their guardian beasts again, almost no one fell to the ground. They had seen people attack people, but they had never seen such an attack. Forget about a wolf contracting a grimoire, it even had such a good inherent skill and a guardian beast. How could the human warriors accept this? Split true body. Special type, bronze ranked level 1, half-living body. Split from the main body to create a true body image. It has 1/3 of the main body's battle power and the same inherent skill as the main body. The number of summons and duration are related to the level. Skills. The split, true body. Everyone was stunned by Hui Tai Lang's inherent skill and guardian beast. To be honest, they had never seen such a wretched inherent skill and beast before. Grey Wolf was already arrogant enough. If Grey Wolf were to summon the exact same doppelgangers and fight them, without being able to distinguish which was real and which was fake, even an innate ranker who was stronger than Grey Wolf would die a horrible death. One must know that guardian beasts would never truly die. If they had fought for a long time and only killed a guardian beast, while the real Hui Tai Lang was still safe and sound, any enemy would probably vomit blood and die from that kind of attack. What was even more frightening was that there was more than one clone. From the looks of it, it was possible to summon more than one clone at this level. If a group of grey wolves surrounded him, only one of them would be real. The others were all doppelgangers, and all of them had 1/3 of its combat power. If they were to fight, the enemy would probably be tortured to death. Woof! Hui Tai Lang extended his front paw and summoned his guardian beast. The dark golden light flashed and disappeared. On Grey Wolf's body, another Grey Wolf, that looked exactly the same, jumped out of the air. Everyone stared at Hui Tai Lang and the doppelganger for a long time, but they could not tell which was real and which was fake. It looked like both of them were real, as if Hui Tai Lang was a pair of twin brothers. However, everyone could tell one thing, because the real Hui Tai Lang did not move. Everyone looked at the Hui Tai Lang who was still pressing his front paw on the grimoire. Luckily he was still holding the summoning gesture, otherwise they would really be able to tell which one was real and which one was fake. Who are you trying to fool? Yu Yang kicked the flying Hui Tai Lang. Only he who had the Heaven Eye's divine vision knew that this was the real one. Meow. Hui Tai Lang who was seen through quickly pretended to be obedient, but the other Hui Tai Lang who was still in the summoning state disappeared under the anti-summon. Everyone was sweating profusely, feeling ashamed. Who would have thought that a dignified human, who had seen so many schemes and plots in his life, would actually be tricked by a dog's little trick? This Hui Tai Lang was really wretched. It actually let the doppelganger press its paw on the grimoire while its real body jumped up. If they really fought, the opponent who recognized the real body would definitely be toyed with by this wretched and perverted fellow. In this world, was there any beast that was more cunning than it? Shun Tian's emperor had transformed into a human, was also good at combat, could even speak, and had a certain level of intelligence. But would Shun Tian's emperor know how to use this kind of tactic to trick people? Although everyone was not familiar with Shun Tian's emperor, they believed that the emperor would definitely not use this kind of tactic, even if it was a holy beast. This was the difference between a holy beast and a mythical beast. Maybe the current Hui Tai Lang could not win against the emperor, but what about in 10 years? In the future, when Hui Tai Lang grew up, it would definitely kill the emperor. Everyone could guarantee this. Don't be afraid of a strong beast, only afraid of a smart beast. This famous saying had existed in the soaring dragon continent 5,000 years ago. Even today, it was still effective and even more accurate. The difference between Hui Tai Lang and the emperor was that even though the current Yu Yang was not as strong as Shun Tian, everyone believed that Yu Yang would be able to catch up and surpass Shun Tian, the great emperor of Ziwei, in a few years. The only person who could make Yu Yang struggle to catch up was Ji Zun. It was believed that when Ji Zun volunteered to be Yu Yang's Tong Tian Tower introducer, she already knew about this. It was just that the warriors in the world did not know about it at that time. The most terrifying thing about Yu Yang was not his combat power, but his potential. He still had endless potential that had not been converted into combat power. For innate rankers like Shun Tian and the Thousand Goblins sect leader, who had almost exhausted their potential, Other than jealousy, there was nothing else they could do. Potential was not equivalent to combat power, but it would determine a person's future. Yu Yang's actions had completely shocked the entire soaring dragon continent. It was fine if he had a sister with extremely high potential, but he also had a beast that could contract a grimoire. The soaring dragon continent had publicly witnessed the birth of a divine beast. Yu Clan's third young master. Would anyone still doubt this person's strength now? Who would be jealous of him? If he really had the ability, why didn't he bring a divine beast for a walk on the streets? De Xia Kingdom and Tianluo Kingdom had both held a celebration ceremony. Even the Zijin Kingdom's envoy had a slightly sour tone, publicly declaring that this was a miracle for the soaring dragon continent. My son-in-law. This was the Eastern Sky King's recent catchphrase. Are you talking about Princess Sisai? No, I've never heard that she and that brat Yu Yang are in a relationship. There's no such thing. When others congratulated him, his future father-in-law, Jun Wu Yu, expressed that he had no idea at all. He even said that Princess Sisai was currently cultivating and hadn't seen Yu Yang for a long time. Otherwise, she would definitely have attended Yu Shuang's grimoire contract ceremony. There's no doubt that Hui Tai Lang is a divine beast. As for why third young master didn't contract it, it's useless for you to ask me. If you could understand third young master's thoughts, then you would be third young master. One of the Yu clan's guards, Lin Miao, expressed that if anyone was worried that Hui Tai Lang would betray them, that would be a pain in the ass. I want to marry brother Yu Yang. This was Zijin Kingdom's Princess Fei Yin. She was only 6 years old this year. I'm friends with him. The Warrior Guild's white-robed brother, Shan He, said that he knew Yu Yang, but no one believed him. Yes, third young master obtained Yu Gong's puppet grimoire. He inherited Yu Gong's knowledge and created and modified new puppet beasts on the original basis. After the birth of the divine beast, second uncle Yu Ling announced that the Yu clan's puppet beasts would be upgraded. There would be a large number of bronze-ranked puppet beasts for sale. There would even be silver-ranked and gold-ranked puppet beasts for sale. I want to save money and get a gold-ranked puppet beast. I want to ride it to marry my future wife. Who do you think I am? I know Yu clan's third young master. I'll fight with anyone who doesn't believe me. The bandit leader Tai Dan, who had already kidnapped 19 girls to be his concubines, patted Black Hair's chest, indicating that he also knew Yu clan's third young master. Forget about it. The mercenaries laughed until they fell down. Students, I'm very happy that everyone came to my class. You must know that in the past, there had never been so many people who came to my class. Even if there were, they would only come here to sleep. An old fox who had already become an innate ranker but still continued to teach students was the most popular teacher in the world. Right now, the Ivy Academy was extremely powerful. Everyone was trying their best to squeeze students into the academy, but the Ivy Academy refused to accept them. This made many people speechless. Fortunately, the old fox did not restrict anyone from his class. People from other academies could also come and listen to his class, regardless of whether they were students or teachers. The old fox would usually emphasize on this point. Students, let me remind you again. Don't try to imitate Yu Yang. You can't copy him. Everyone should train with their feet on the ground. It's impossible for everyone to be like Yu Yang. This is definitely impossible. If you guys could become like Fatty Hai and Yi Kong, I would be very happy. Especially the students who were originally from the death class. You should know what kind of strength Fatty Hai and Yi Kong had in their previous class. They were trash. That's right, but they had put in a lot of effort. If you guys don't want to be left behind by them, then you have to train hard. There are no shortcuts. Even Yu Yang had trained hard. He had put in a lot more effort than you guys can imagine. You guys should never be arrogant and complacent, and don't worry about the future. In front of you, Yu Yang had already pointed out a bright path for you guys. As long as you guys train hard, you guys will definitely succeed. When the old fox was using Yu Yang's example to teach his students, Yu Yang brought Hui Tai Lang and bid farewell to Fourth Mother, heading towards the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. He still had to continue training. Fourth Mother was unwilling to stay in Yu Yang's grimoire world, because she was taking care of the baby left behind by Fourth Uncle and Miss Fong. She was afraid that it would affect him. She decided to stay in the Mirage until Yu Yang had the ability to be fearless against all enemies. Only then would she live with him. Yu Shuang, the little girl, was temporarily taken care of by Sickly Beauty. Yu Yang would teach her temporarily, and they could slowly find a good teacher in the future. The little girl couldn't bear to leave her mother. She cried for a long time, but in the end she still obediently left with her brother. The cruel reality of a world where the strong preyed on the weak forced Yu Yang to make this decision. Only the strong could live better. Become stronger. No matter if it was a child or an adult, they had to become stronger. They had to become stronger than their enemies. Yu Yang brought Hui Tai Lang, who was disguised as a bronze-ranked level 3, back to the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. He teleported to the underground city of the Thunder Fortress. The anxious toad merchant Jiada almost crawled up to welcome him. The first thing he said was, "Mr. Titan, your mind has rebelled, please decide whether to suppress or appease them. Also, your arena, your gladiators and your beasts are almost at their limit. If you don't want to pay them, at least let them eat something." My mine? My gladiator arena? Only then did Yu Yang remember that he had won all of Ndong's assets. Because he was worried about Fourth Mother, he left in a hurry and didn't have time to deal with it. Chapter 376. It's all my fault that I didn't make it clear that day. Ndong's assets have already been transferred to your name, including the West Wind Mine, the underground arena, 10 shops and more than 200 stalls. There are also more than 3,000 underground huts and 5,000 slaves. Many of the slaves have already escaped, and some have sought refuge with others. However, I estimate that there are still 3,000 people who have nowhere to go. Mr. Chen said that in the Qilin continent, Ndong still has a large amount of land and assets waiting for you to take over. It's just that after Mr. Chen left that day, he hasn't returned, and the detailed accounts are still in Mr. Yanzheng's hands. Mr. Yanzheng is the new housekeeper that Mr. Chen hired for you. Jiada talked non-stop, and after listening for a long time, Yu Yang realized that he had won back a huge mess. You mean, Ndong left behind a huge mess, and he has no money to spend, right? Yu Yang asked. It's not like that, Ndong is a bastard, extremely extravagant. Just the decoration and collection of this mansion is worth at least 2 million gold. You must know, the carpet here is made of velvet. We still have money, but Lord Demon I came here yesterday and took away most of it, saying that it was the compensation for Nightmare and Tiger Nyen's death. I feel that this is not right, that loss cannot be counted on Mr. Titan. You must know, you are Ndong's biggest creditor, but Lord Demon Eye is one of the 3 leaders of the Thunder Fortress, and his position is only below King Chong and I. Since Lord Titan is not here, I have no way to reject him. Jiada's face was filled with fear. He was afraid that Yu Yang would kill him in a fit of anger. How much money did he take? Yu Yang asked again. 3 million, maybe 4 million. Ndong's 2 concubines, the 2 demons, they knew where Ndong kept his treasures, and when Mr. Yanzheng arrived, he had already taken away most of it. Jiada saw that Yu Yang was still all right, and that no one was jumping up and down in anger, and added another sentence. Maybe he even took away some valuable jewels and magic crystals. Then how much money is left now? Yu Yang thought that he wouldn't immediately become a pauper. 1,689,951 gold. Jiada sincerely hoped that his future master would not be too angry when he heard this number. After all, the remaining money was less than half, and there was still a rebellion going on in the mines. What about the new butler, Mr. Yanzheng? Yu Yang felt relieved after hearing that. Fortunately, there was still a lot of money left in this mess. He was detained while he was negotiating with the rebels. Judd wiped the sweat off his forehead. If Mr. Titan doesn't mind, why don't you transfer the underground arena to me to tide over this crisis? You should know that our 100 War Guild has always been very interested in the underground arena. Of course, if you are willing to sell the mine to us, that would be even better. An arrogant merchant strode in from outside the door. He had a smug look on his face, and he looked at Yu Yang as if he was a noble looking at a country bumpkin. As for Giada, who was lowering his head, he was completely ignored. Yu Yang did not recognize this arrogant fellow. He was even more disgusted by his arrogant look. Wearing the Gemini mask, his emotions were as calm as an ancient well. He wanted to see who dared to come and negotiate with him. Was the mine's rebellion related to this fellow? You are? Yu Yang glanced at the arrogant fellow indifferently. His strength was not high, he was only a level 6 elder. But he had 2 level 7 overlord guards. I am Fu Luo from the 100 War Guild. I am the person in charge of the 100 War Guild's Thunder Fortress branch, a level 8 gold star merchant. This fellow used 1/5 of the whites of his eyes to look at Giada with disdain. The meaning behind his words seemed to be telling Yu Yang not to compare him with Giada, this lowly fellow. You want the arena? What's the price? Yu Yang frowned. Wearing the Gemini mask, no one could see his expression. 1,500,000 gold star coins. Fu Luo gave an extremely low price. No, this price is only enough to send off beggars. Giada was afraid that Yu Yang would suffer a loss and hurriedly interrupted. Mr. Tai Tan, please forgive my frankness and straightforwardness. This price absolutely cannot be agreed to. The stupid Ndong spent 4 million gold star coins to buy it from someone else. After renovating and remodeling it, he also bought a large amount of gladiators and beasts. The price of the arena is at least 5 million gold star coins. A price of 1,500,000 gold star coins, to you, is a kind of humiliation. Pay attention to your words, you toad. Let me tell you, you better shut up, otherwise I will throw you out. A lowly level 3 merchant like you, and that lowly toad merchant behind you, dares to clamor with our top 10 ranked 100 War Guild? Annoying toad, do you know what is called the rules? Do you know what is called the rage of a strong person? You are provoking, insulting, and challenging the prestige of our 100 War Guild. As long as we wave our hands, we can destroy you and the Toad Merchant Guild behind you into ashes. I am warning you, immediately scram to one side. There is no place for you to speak here. That man called Fu Luo probably thought that Giada was a merchant bidding. He didn't seem to know that Giada was Yu Yang's representative. He arrogantly scolded him. In front of the buyer, Yu Yang, he still dared to be so unbridled. It seemed that he was usually an arrogant and tyrannical person. Giada was so scared that he didn't dare to speak and retreated to one side. He secretly raised his eyes and looked at Yu Yang. It seemed that he hoped that Yu Yang would stand up for him and say a few words of justice for him. Or perhaps he would point out that he was Yu Yang's subordinate. Without the support of a strong person, with his meager strength, wanting to contend against the 100 War Guild was like a mantis trying to stop a chariot. Giada, this person was someone that Yu Yang wanted to use. Although he had never been an official before, Yu Yang had read many official documents and knew a few ways to use people. Yu Yang purposely wanted to cool Giada down. He didn't immediately speak up. He wanted to first let the man called Fu Luo misunderstand him even more and let that guy's arrogance rise even more. Giada saw that Yu Yang didn't open his mouth to support him and his expression immediately became gloomy. He clearly understood that the 100 War Guild was different from the Ndong. It was one of the top 10 merchant guilds in the entire Tong Tian Tower. Even if they only used 1% of their strength, they could still suppress the Golden Toad Merchant Guild. Tai Tan could ignore the Ndong, but he definitely couldn't ignore the people from the 100 War Guild. Of course, in his heart, Jiada still hoped that Yu Yang would speak up for him, even if it was just one sentence. He already had the intention to rely on Yu Yang and was waiting for a suitable opportunity to express his loyalty. He hoped that it was now, but unfortunately Yu Yang didn't open his mouth. When Fu Luo saw that Yu Yang didn't open his mouth to speak, he thought that Yu Yang was also intimidated by his 100 War Guild's prestige. His attitude became even more arrogant. He purposely used the attitude of lecturing a junior. "Young ranker, I have heard that you have strength. However, can you compare to the master behind our 100 War Guild? That is the innate level 8 Lord Judgment. He, the Black Prince and Lord Shun Tian are best friends and are also allies. I believe that you are not unfamiliar with the names of these 3 rankers. If I may say something disrespectful, they are existences even more famous than the Thunder Fortress's master, King Chong and I. Yes, there is no benefit in becoming enemies with our 100 War Guild. On the contrary, if you cooperate with us to do business, then it will be a mutually beneficial ending. It's not unreasonable for us to offer 1.5 million for the underground gladiator arena. The 3 strongest gladiators have already been killed by you. Most of the gladiators took the opportunity to escape when you were not around. There were even some people who stole a portion of the strong beast. Most importantly, after this incident, Chong and I ordered that in the future competitions in the arena, no physical objects can be used as collateral, in order to avoid similar risks. These losses have directly affected the selling price." Fu Luo talked non-stop, continuously lecturing Yu Yang, this rookie in the business world. "One last thing, other than our 100 War Guild, there will not be a second person who will buy the arena. I believe that Mr. Titan will understand my meaning without me saying it too clearly. We see that Mr. Titan is strong and is in urgent need of money, so we offered a high price to build a good relationship. Mr. Titan, the price of 1,500,000 gold we offered is definitely the highest price in the entire Thunder Fortress. It is also the only price. Other than us, there will not be anyone else who will offer a second price. Fu Luo's meaning is that this underground arena is theirs. If Yu Yang does not sell it to them, then he definitely cannot sell it to anyone else. Furthermore, there will not be anyone who dares to bid in front of their 100 War Guild. If the previous words were said to be a lesson, then the last few words were undoubtedly a threat. Seeing that Yu Yang did not speak, he thought that Yu Yang was afraid of his 100 War Guild, so he emphasized his tone and warned this brat to be more sensible. Yu Yang simply wanted to laugh out loud in his heart. He originally wanted to use him to subdue Jiada, but he did not expect this fool to really cooperate. Judgment, Yu Yang had heard of this innate rancor. It was a guy who thought that he was righteous. He was originally called Audit, but after he became an innate, he changed his name to Judgment. Judgment was indeed a level 8 innate, but his level 8 innate was not that strong. Being a level 8 innate, Chong and I was much higher than him in terms of ranking and strength. In the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower, this Judgment was rated as the weakest level 8 innate. This was just like the Ghost Dragon in the game Heroes of Might and Magic 3. Although it was a level 7 creature in name, it could not be compared to the Leg Hairuncle, Great Angel, Black Dragon and Titan. The 100 War Guild founded by Judgment was indeed one of the top 10 guilds. But at the same time, it was also the weakest among the top 10 guild. Of course, compared to non-innates, Judgment was still an existence that people could not look up to. No matter how weak he was still a level 8 innate rancor. What made Yu Yang frown slightly was another person's name. Black Prince. Yu Yang now knew that the black shadow that attacked him with Shun Tian that day was not the Thousand Goblins sect leader, but the Black Prince. This Black Prince was a mysterious innate with great strength, but no one knew where he came from. because those who knew him were all dead, all killed by this guy. The Black Prince was a homicidal maniac ranked in the top 10 of the Bloody Fallen list. His ranking and strength were far above Chong and I, and he was on the same level as Shun Tian and the Thousand Goblins sect leader. This guy was the person that Yu Yang had just decided to kill. When he was visiting Fourth Mother, Tian Luo Emperor Hua Su Ri had sent a letter to Yu Yang. In the letter, Yu Yang had obtained a part of the Black Prince's secret information. How did Hua Su Ri know about the Black Prince's information? Was it from the Night Empress? Yu Yang did not care about that for now. However, Yu Yang would definitely take revenge for the Black Prince's sneak attack that almost killed him and the Impatiens. If Mr. Tai Tan has made a decision, please sign your name on this transfer contract. Fu Luo's tone sounded like he was giving charity. If he had not heard from others that this Tai Tan had killed the strong Nightmare and Tiger Nian in front of everyone, he would have directly lowered the price to 500,000 gold coins. Fu Luo looked at the young man wearing a golden mask and sneered in his heart. So what if he was strong? Could he compare to his master, Judgment? If this brat wanted to make a name for himself in the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower, he was still too inexperienced. He would have to pay his tuition fees first. Pa! Yu Yang raised his hand and gave Fu Luo a heavy slap. Fu Luo's teeth were broken and blood spurted out from his mouth. The two level 7 overlords hurriedly came forward to protect their master. Yu Yang stretched out his hands, one in each hand, and lifted the two of them up as if they were chickens. He lifted them up high and smashed them heavily onto the ground. The two heads crashed onto the velvet carpet and the obsidian floor, smashing into pieces like watermelons. You dare to hit me? Fu Luo still could not believe that this was the truth. This brat dared to hit him? You still need to look at the master when you hit a dog. He was the representative of Judgment. I should hit you. If I don't hit you, you will be sad. Yu Yang gave Fu Luo a few slaps on his face, causing him to lie on the ground. Then, he used his feet to kick him a few times. When Fu Luo wanted to struggle and escape, Yu Yang warned him. I announced that the person in charge of the 100 War Guild's Thunder Fortress branch, Fu Luo, has severely tarnished the innate ranker Tai Tan's reputation. He must receive the most severe punishment in order to quell the ranker's anger. If you dare to escape, then fine, I will take revenge on the 100 War Guild 100-fold. At the same time, I will put you on the wanted list in the Warriors Guild. What? Fu Luo was shocked. He did not understand why the other party would be so furious. It was fine if he did not want to sell the arena, but did he have to do this? Jiada was so agitated that his whole body was trembling. He knew that Mr. Tai Tan was not a kind person, nor was he a weakling who would be bullied by others. Forget about this Fu Luo, even if it was Nightmare and Tiger Nian who were both innate rankers, Mr. Tai Tan would still dare to kill them in front of everyone. Ignoring the fact that this would smear Demon Eye's face, and even made the rich and Dong a pauper. To be able to take out a martial spirit pill so casually, to be able to make Mr. Chen look at him in a new light, to be able to make the Thunder Fortress Master Chong and I secretly praise him, would Mr. Tai Tan be afraid of a small fry like Fu Luo? Although Judgment was strong, would he fall out with Mr. Tai Tan just for a subordinate, a mere person in charge of the Thunder Fortress? Maybe Mr. Tai Tan's backer was even more powerful than Judgment. When Jiada thought of this, his eyes immediately lit up. He clenched his fists tightly. If he was a little hesitant before, then he would not be any more now. He had already steeled his heart to follow Mr. Tai Tan. As the saying goes, it's good to enjoy the shade under a big tree. Mr. Tai Tan, who did not even care about Judgment, was definitely the master that he would serve for the rest of his life. He definitely could not miss this opportunity. Jiada! Yu Yang called out casually. Yes. When Jiada heard this, he felt his blood rushing to his head. He was so excited that his throat became a little hoarse. Hang this idiot up and beat him up. If he dares to resist, chop off his 4 limbs and feed them to the dogs." Yu Yang patted Jiada's shoulder with his big hands and said very seriously, "As my friend and my specially appointed business partner, you are also an incomparably honorable existence. Listen, whoever dares to embarrass you, that is equivalent to making things difficult for me. Please remember this, Jiada, you are already my friend. If someone dares to scold you, then you must give him a slap. If he dares to hit you, then you must chop off his hand. I, Titan, do not have cowardly friends, I only have noble and dignified rankers. Straighten your back, bring out your imposing manner and punish this idiot ruthlessly." Yes. Jiada's eyes were brimming with tears. He felt that his tumbling blood was about to burst his chest. He used all of his strength and shouted. Yu Yang pretended to be serious on the surface, but he was secretly happy in his heart. Although he did not have the aura of a bastard, he could still use a little trick to get a merchant to help him with his chores. Next, it was time to deal with the matter of the mine. Those slaves in the mine did not rebel earlier or later. Instead, they got into trouble when he was not around. Could it be that someone was secretly causing trouble? Chapter 377. When Jiada, who had beaten Fu Luo up, returned, Yu Yang had already searched Ndong's mansion. To be more accurate, he had used the quintet seeking golden mice to search the whole place. Ndong was an extremely cunning and unscrupulous businessman. A cunning rabbit has 3 burrows. Yu Yang didn't believe that he only had one hidden treasure house. Furthermore, a hidden treasure house that his 2 concubines knew about. Could it be Ndong's doing? Yu Yang was suspicious. He first sent Jiada away and summoned the quintet seeking golden mice. Discovered a secret door, discovered a lot of gold, discovered various energy items, discovered special items, discovered precious ores. The quintet seeking golden mice quickly crawled on the floor and found 2 secret doors in a short while. Other than the original treasure house, these were the 2 secret treasure houses. On the grimoire, new targets were continuously shown. New items were continuously discovered by the quintet seeking golden mice. There was a small secret door in the hall. Its mechanism was very well hidden. It was actually hidden behind an oil painting. The surface of the wall was smooth. The mechanism was actually a nail used to hang the painting. When Yu Yang pressed the nail, the mechanism vibrated slightly. The wall silently caved in, revealing a treasure room the size of a box, revealing the treasure house behind. The space inside was not big. It could barely fit 1 person. However, it was filled with blue ores. Needless to say, these were the unique thunder ores of the Thunder Fortress. They were all of the highest quality. Although Yu Yang had never seen them before, he knew from the puppet grimoire that the quality of the thunder ores had nothing to do with their size. It was only related to their purity. The purer they were, the bluer they were, the higher their quality. Although this was the first time Yu Yang, who had the Heaven Eyes divine vision and the quintet seeking golden mice, could tell the quality of the ores with one look. Among the ores there were some that were so blue that they were almost transparent. They were the best of the best, and there were only 2 of them. One was the shape of a pearl. It was the size of a thumb and had the highest purity. The other one was not very regular. If one was ruthless enough to carve it into the shape of a diamond and use it to enhance the effect of lightning, it would probably make all the lightning-type rankers go crazy. These 2 thunder ores had already surpassed the level of ores. They had reached the level of the highest quality gemstones. Each of them was a priceless treasure. The other few fist-sized ores were also deep blue. Although they were not transparent, they were all top-grade ores. If they were used to refine weapons and equipment or to create lightning-type puppet beasts, they would definitely be the best choice. The remaining dark blue thunder ores were of slightly inferior quality. Of course, they were much better than the ordinary thunder ores that only had a smear of blue color, but they were already much better than the ordinary thunder ores. Imagine, if these thunder oars were not thunder oars of the highest quality, Andong wouldn't keep them so carefully. Yu Yang unreservedly accepted all of Andong's painstaking collection, keeping them into his pocket. If it wasn't for the fact that the bet of 50 platinum grimoire was too big, Andong wouldn't have collapsed. However, Andong would dong. Moreover, he was most unlucky to have caused the deaths of Demon Eye's supporters, Nightmare and Tiger Nyen. Now that Demon Eye had lost 2 of his generals, his strength was greatly reduced. Once he lost his power in the Thunder Fortress, he would definitely not let Andong off. In front of the rage of a rancor, Andong would not be able to do anything no matter how rich he was. This was not something that money could solve. Demon Eye was originally the leader of the 3 leaders of the Thunder Fortress. Since Chong Ni had the intention to advance to the 7th floor of Tong Tian Tower, it was highly possible that Demon Eye would be the next city lord. Now that his strongest supporter, Nightmare Tiger Nyen, had both died, Demon Eye was probably done for under Mountain Elf and Blood River's attacks. Demon Eye even vented his anger on Yu Yang, the new titan. Robbing Andong's mansion was a test. If Yu Yang took a step back and tolerated it, Demon Eye might do something else. The mine rebellion could also be caused by Demon Eye in the dark. Yu Yang did not care about Demon Eye and the others. They were all elite monsters. They were similar to the flaming corpses, blood birds and countess in the darkness. They existed to drop equipment for players. Yu Yang found a special item in another treasure vault under the floor tiles in the kitchen. This was the biggest reward of the day, because he could not see what it was with his Heaven Eye's divine vision. It was a ball-shaped item, black and swarthy. There were heaven runes on its surface. Yu Yang could not remember the name of this item. However, he felt a sense of familiarity from the pitiful guy's mother's memory inheritance. What exactly was it? A ball that sealed a rancor's soul? Like the pearl that sealed the dark golden specter? Yu Yang then took out the silver moon accessory that the Silver Dragon sisters gave him. It felt a little similar, but different. Forget it, I'll study it slowly. Before Jiada came in, Yu Yang kept all the equipment, jewels and gold coins in the second treasure vault into the Lich Ring. What made him disappointed was that there was only 1 gold-ranked equipment. The rest were silver-ranked or bronze-ranked. As for the jewels that only women liked, Yu Yang did not care about them at all. Unless it was the white dragon pearl, green dragon pearl, vermilion bird pearl, white tiger pearl and black tortoise pearl. Yu Yang did not count how many gold coins there were. He only knew that there were 2 big boxes of them. These gold coins were different from normal gold coins. They all had a special dwarf rune on them. It seemed that they were worth a lot more than normal gold coins. The rest were gold-ranked herbs like elephant tusks, rhinoceros horns and deer antlers. There were also some precious herbs and a small amount of pills. There were even items that made Yu Yang sweat to death. For example, spider eyes, scorpion tails, fairy nails, skeleton ashes, fairy spit, witch's blood and other weird collectibles. Seems like Andong's kidneys are very weak. There are actually quite a lot of aphrodisiacs and wine in the treasure vault. Yu Yang took out a big jar of tiger penis wine. When Jiada came in, Yu Yang had already finished looting. No one knew. The loot was good. Yu Yang was quite satisfied. After all, the 2 top-grade thunder gems and the spherical special item were a pleasant surprise. The only regret was that he did not find any precious herbs or pearls. It must be known that Yu Yang must collect them, and they must be a set. After helping the old dragon turtle complete the Prison Emperor Divine Palace and letting the old fellow take away the Prison Emperor Divine Staff, he gave him the black tortoise pearl. Jun Wu Yu gave him the white dragon pearl, but it could not replace the azure dragon pearl. Right now, Yu Yang still lacked the azure dragon pearl, white tiger pearl and vermilion bird pearl. What should we do with the mines and the arena? Jiada now had the attitude of a merchant employed by Yu Yang. For the arena, let the people feed the beasts first. Feed whatever they lack. As for the gladiators, if they want to leave, give each of them 10 gold coins. If anyone thinks it's too little, tell them to come and find me. If they want to stay, that's fine too. But they must pass my test later. I won't feed those useless people who waste rice for nothing. No one should think of working under me. It's the same for Ndong's servants and slaves. If they want to leave, give them money. If they want to stay, they must test their loyalty and ability. Yu Yang was also trying to warn Jiade not to let this fatty get carried away. Yes, of course. Loyalty is very important. Jiade was not worried at all. He had already thrown caution to the wind. Loyalty was definitely not a problem. As for ability, he was definitely not good at fighting. But when it comes to business, that was his strong point. I'll go and take a look personally. Yu Yang felt that the Thunder Fortress was his first step to the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. Trying to play tricks with him? Let the monsters here understand who the real player is. Yu Yang would not really stay here to be a mine owner or a slave. However, he had to follow the steps when fighting monsters. He couldn't just rush to fight Chong and I alone. He had to slowly deal with the small monsters and fight the boss at the end. Only then would it be interesting. If he could kill all the big and small boss in the Thunder Fortress, not to mention the rewards from the Warriors Guild, just the loot from the Thunder Fortress would be enough to make Yu Yang rich. And Dong? He was just the beginning of killing monsters and looting. There were 5 underground mines. The central mine belonged to the owner of the Thunder Fortress, Chong and I. It was the biggest mine and had the most ores with the best quality. The remaining 4 were Demon Eye's East Tai Mine, Andong's West Wind Mine, Mountain Elf and Blood River's South Sea Mine, and the underground city master Ancient Beast Ma Long's North Desolate Mine. Other than the central mine, the South Sea Mine was the biggest one. It was jointly won by Mountain Elf and Blood River. In comparison, the West Wind Mine was the smallest. Its ores were only a third of the others. It was originally won by Ndong and another ranker called Shili. However, Shili died suddenly and the shares of the mine went to Ndong. Everyone suspected that Shili was killed by Ndong. Furthermore, this matter was supported by Demon Eye. The one who did it was Nightmare. However, there was no evidence and Shili's descendants were not powerful enough. No one came to fight for it, so Ndong got a great bargain. Mr. Titan, do you think that there is someone secretly supporting this rebellion? Jiade introduced to Yu Yang along the way. He did not dare to say it too clearly, as he was afraid that someone with a sensitive hearing would hear it. It's just a small trick, not worth laughing at. Yu Yang of course acted as if he was the most arrogant person in the world. Yes. Jiade admired Yu Yang's attitude the most. As a ranker, he should be arrogant and arrogant. This kind of master was awesome. The underground mine was a few kilometers deep. There was a huge entrance and densely packed tunnels. It was as complicated as a spider's web. The tunnels were dry and had little water. There were many glowing ores. Although it was dark, one could still barely see things with their eyes under such light. There were some special turpentine torches at the corners. Most of the rebels were slaves. There were at least a few thousand of them. A small number of them were under the protection of the supervisors. The 2 orcs who were leading the rebellion were level 7 overlord. They both had silver-ranked greatswords. A Tauran supervisor was about the same, but his equipment was slightly inferior. He only had a bronze-ranked greataxe. Over 100 strong orc guards turned from overseers to mutinous soldiers. Other than that, there were also hundreds of strong slaves with all kinds of weapons and armors. They followed closely behind the 3 rebel leaders. There were even more slaves hiding in the dark, watching everything numbly. When they saw the arrival of their new master, Yu Yang, they were even a little shocked. Many of them were trembling. Among you, who are the brothers Xia Pu and Xia Er? Yu Yang did not need to look to know who the twin brothers were. He only said it on purpose to test the other party's reaction. You are? Xia Pu, who had a scar on his face, stood out. He and all the other rebels were very confused. Why would their new master send such a weak human to negotiate? His strength was at most level 6 or elder. As for his beast, it was even worse. That wolf was actually a bronze-ranked level 3 ironback demonic wolf. This kind of beast could not even survive in the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. What was the use of bringing such a trash beast? It did not look like a pet at all. The strangest thing was that this human who came to negotiate was wearing a gold-ranked mask. It was a waste for him to wear such a thing on his face. He would probably be robbed the moment he stepped out. Who was this brat? The new master seemed to be called Tai Tan. He was said to be an innate ranker who could kill Nightmare and Tiger Nyen. Could this brat be that ranker's younger brother or son? Chapter 378. Mr. Titan. Just as Giada was about to introduce him to Yu Yang, the twin brothers suddenly pounced on him as fast as lightning and attacked him. The two normal level 6 rock guards beside Giada were mercilessly sent flying, landing more than 10 meters away. The one without a scar on his face took out a large sword and placed it on Giada's neck. The other one pointed his sword at Yu Yang. With the large sword pointed at his throat, Yu Yang would die as long as he stabbed him. However, not only did Yu Yang not tremble in fear, he even revealed an arrogant and superior aura and said calmly, "Is this considered as taking hostages? Mr. Little Titan, please don't do anything stupid." The man with a scar on his face was the eldest of the twin brothers, Xia Pu. He snorted coldly. "I know you have some martial arts, but don't even try to struggle. Otherwise, I don't mind making a bloody wound on your body. I don't mean to offend this noble young master, but please learn to be smarter." "Why do you want to rebel?" Yu Yang changed his question. Ha ha! Suddenly, when Xia Pu heard this, he was stunned at first, but then he started laughing maniacally, as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. Not only him, even his brothers, the Ox-Head Man and all the other guards all laughed out loud. Some of them even cried from laughing. Behind Yu Yang, a black shadow flashed. An extremely sharp dagger was placed horizontally on Yu Yang's neck. A black shadow used his hand to press against his back, and a delicate and pretty face slowly stretched out from the black shadow. Leaning towards Yu Yang's ear, the black shadow used a cruel and merciless tone to mock him. "Young master who doesn't know what hunger is, as long as I throw you into the bottom of the mine for 2 weeks, you will understand why we want to rebel. What right do you have to exploit us like this? Why? Just because you have a high status? Just because you have a strong power? We are also dignified beings, but we are treated as slaves by you. We are locked in this dark mine as slaves, working for you year after year, mining for you. Do you know how many people died of exhaustion in this mine? Their bones can be piled up into a small hill. They have created countless riches for you, but what have you done for them? Have you ever paid a salary? No, we haven't even had a full meal. Look at yourself. You're wearing dragon leather armor and a golden mask. These are their blood and sweat. Don't you feel ashamed? You ignorant little vampire." When Yu Yang heard this, he clapped his hands and laughed. "Could it be that I've encountered the legendary slave uprising? This is a good principle. I was almost moved." Seeing that Yu Yang wasn't being honest, the black figure behind him gave him a vicious punch. However, the black shadow was surprised to find that his hand was in pain, but the other party did not seem to feel it. The black shadow was even more annoyed as he pressed his dagger against Yu Yang's skin. "Don't talk nonsense, or I'll kill you. Don't think that you're so great just because you have an innate rancor as your elder. In my eyes, you're just a trashy second generation. Please don't attack him. Mr. Titan, he's not someone you can offend. If you hurt even a single hair of his, all of you will die without a burial ground. Didn't you want to talk terms? State your conditions. Mr. Tai Tan will make the decision for you." Of course, Giada knew that the strength of these few people in front of him was definitely not enough to control his master. He cooperated and shouted loudly, pretending to be terrified. That performance was definitely at the level of a movie king. We want 5% of the mine's shares to maintain our lives and salaries. The boss, Xia Pu, stated his first condition. Impossible. Yu Yang didn't wait for him to finish speaking before rejecting him. You won't shed a tear until you see the coffin. If you say another word, I'll cut off your tongue. The black shadow behind angrily used his knee to push Yu Yang's lower back, intending to press Yu Yang to the ground. Who would have thought that his strength would not be able to move the captive in front of him? I'm very scared. Yu Yang's tone of voice and his unwavering performance made the black shadow go crazy. 5% of the mine's shares, mainly used to compensate for the deceased workers, and to ensure the living conditions of the disabled workers. You must agree to this. Xia Er's younger brother, who didn't have any scars on his face, emphasized. This was the crux of the negotiation. Of course, Giada wouldn't agree. He only slyly expressed that he would seek the opinion of his superiors, and that he couldn't make the decision. The mine's workers must have rest time. They must rest for 2 days a week, and work no more than 16 hours a day. The ox-head man stated another condition. Every time a high-quality ore is discovered, the mine owner must reward the workers according to the ore's value. The reward must be at least 1% of the ore's value. The Black Shadow who caught Yu Yang also had a condition. We must continue to be the supervisors, and you must not take revenge on us or the workers in the future. This requires the mine owner's personal signature as a guarantee. Xia Pu, who had a scar on his face, looked at Yu Yang. After a slight pause, he continued, other than the above conditions, there's another important condition. The mine owner must provide us with enough food. Not every race eats meat, and not every race is vegetarian. Our food needs are different, so the mine owner must ensure that we have enough food. If any of you want to drink milk, I'll have to help you find a nanny. Is that what you mean? Yu Yang asked. You. The Black Shadow was so angry that he almost exploded. That sharp dagger was about to pierce into Yu Yang's body. If he didn't bleed this brat a bit, his anger wouldn't be appeased. Xia Pu's giant sword swung upwards and blocked the dagger with great agility. As the chief leader, Xia Pu waved his hand. Don't hurt him. There's no need for us to vent our anger on a rich second generation who doesn't know the meaning of poverty. Bring him down and lock him up with Mr. Yanjing. He then waved his hand at Giada and said, Go back and tell your master that if he agrees to our conditions, then all of us will be able to resume our jobs. If not, then we will fight to the end, even if he sends his soldiers to suppress us. We would rather all of us die and spill our blood all over this mine than to be enslaved like before. Giada looked at Yu Yang and said hesitantly, Brother Xia Pu, I understand that you guys want to fight for your salary. After all, no one is willing to work for free. However, you guys went overboard by capturing Mr. Tai Tan. You have to know that the one who exploited you is Ndong, not us. We just took over this mine from Ndong. Xia Pu heard and sighed, that's true. However, I'm sorry. Even if it wasn't you guys, we would have revolted too. We have been preparing for half a year and have been waiting for the right time. Even if you guys didn't come and it was still Ndong, we would have raised the same conditions. This isn't fair. This matter has nothing to do with us. Giada felt dizzy when he heard that he had become Ndong's scapegoat. This was too unlucky. Go back and tell Mr. Tai Tan that if you want the mine to work normally, then you have to agree to our conditions. As long as you are not a short-sighted person, you will understand our sincerity. We just want to live. That's all. As long as there is a reward and a guarantee, the workers will work hard. After all, this is the home of many people. Some of them even had fathers or grandfathers who lived here. Aren't they the owners of the mine? Aren't they entitled to some shares? Instead of oppressing the slaves and making them work weekly, why not give them a way to live and let them work hard? Isn't that better? Xia Pu said softly. If Mr. Tai Tan feels that we have offended his dignity as a master, then we can accept the punishment. Even if we are beheaded, we will have no regrets, as long as he agrees to our conditions. Do you think he will agree? Jiada looked at Yu Yang and asked. It might be a little difficult, but I hope he will agree. I hope you can tell him our sincerity. If he needs a group of people to work hard for him, then he will have to pay them a sufficient commission. The mercenary guilds outside are the same. They treat us like cattle and sheep as slaves. Even if we die, the slaves will still riot in the future. Over the past hundreds of years, haven't there been a lot of slave riots? Give them hope, a home, and a way to live. Mr. Titan the Great will be able to obtain countless ores and eternal loyalty. Why wouldn't I be happy? Xia Pu thought for a while and waved his hand at the black figure. Let Mr. Little Titan go. If Mr. Tai Tan Tan is willing to agree to our conditions, then we will immediately release Mr. Yen Zheng and beg for forgiveness. No, that's not good. We definitely can't let this brat go. The black figure screamed. This is different from our plan. Brother Xia Pu, you said that you will lead us to victory. Perseverance is victory. Why don't we persevere? Why should we give in to the enemy? All right, this is my decision. Xia Pu waved his hand. I will say now, let him go. I will not let him go. The black figure's anxious voice sounded. I only have 2 brothers and you 2 as my family. Why should I let you sacrifice yourselves? They are in the wrong. We are righteous. Why should we give in to the enemy? Brother Xia Pu, if you die in battle, I will feel honored. But if you die to appease the anger of an innate rancor and protect his face, I will only feel ashamed. Without you, what will I do in the future? Have you ever thought that he will lie to us? When the strongest of you die, they will massacre us and continue to enslave us. That's right, that's what I think. Yu Yang nodded in agreement. Shut up. The black figure was so angry that his lungs almost exploded. My dearest sister, this is actually our last chance. Just be like Mr. Little Titan and I will understand. If Mr. Great Titan doesn't give us a chance, then he will directly send his guards or even kill us himself. He is an innate rancor who can kill Nightmare. Among us, none of us is his match. I guess Mr. Great Titan doesn't want the relationship between us to be too strained. He needs workers and we need to survive. If he can agree to our conditions, we will do our best to serve him. This is a chance. I hope that we can change our original plan and show more sincerity to Mr. Great Titan. That's why we will let him go. If we succeed, we will get jobs and freedom. Of course, if we fail, we will all die. Xia Pu, who had a scar on his face, slowly looked at the guards and slaves. He said softly, It depends on your choice. Maybe there is a 1% chance of success. You can also choose another path. Whoever is willing to leave the rebel team, I promise I will not pursue the matter. I will give him money to leave. If he is willing to continue working, then I will guarantee that he will have enough food. As for the conditions for shares, don't even dream about it. Even an idiot wouldn't agree to it. You don't have the ability to protect the shares in your hands. Come on, those who want to leave, step forward. Jiada, give them money, each of them 5 gold coins. Those who want to leave, immediately take the money and scram. Those who want to stay, obediently become slaves and do hard labor. We don't have money, but we can provide food. We are different from that idiot and Dong, we are benevolent people. Yu Yang had the appearance of a rich second generation. Needless to say, when Yu Yang opened his mouth, many people really stood up. Even the Oxhead leader stood up. The Xia Pu brothers looked at him in shock. When Xia Er's younger brother wanted to attack the Oxhead leader, Xia Pu, who had a scar on his face, stopped him. Forget it, everyone has their own ambitions. Seeing that more and more people followed the Oxhead leader, preparing to take the money and leave to fight for their freedom, the black figure screamed crazily. He grabbed onto Yu Yang's collar and lifted him up. He then pointed a dagger at his throat. Whoever dares to leave this place, I will kill him. Women shouldn't be too fierce, otherwise no one will like them. Yu Yang realized that the girl in front of him was not bad-looking. Not only did she have delicate features, she also had a pair of long, slender legs. Although she was wrapped in coarse cloth, one could tell that she was a seductress from her tight calves and perky round, but that made people's desires soar. Her sharp chin and big eyes filled with tears made her look like a seductive vixen who didn't care about her life. Not only did Yu Yang tease her, the next sentence he said almost made the dagger girl cry in anger. This was because Yu Yang said, "Your looks are so, but your breasts are too small. People say big breasts have no brains, but why are you so brainless with such small breasts?" Hui Tai Lang lazily laid on the ground and yawned. Seeing that there was no fight, it continued to yawn. I will kill you." The dagger girl was so angry that she almost wanted to bite Yu Yang to death. However, she knew that she couldn't touch this spoiled brat. Although she was extremely angry, she didn't really make a move. "If you use your pair of slender legs to clamp me to death, then it doesn't matter." Yu Yang's current performance was like a rapist who was about to succeed. "Do you think that I don't dare to kill you?" The dagger girl felt that she had to stab a bloody hole in this brat's back. Before Yu Yang could even touch her, he fell down stiffly. The dagger girl was shocked. She didn't stab him? Why was this brat's chest bleeding? The Xiapu brothers and the Oxhead men's faces changed. There was an assassin. There was actually an expert hidden amongst the guards, taking the opportunity when Mr. Little Titan came to negotiate to kill him. This time it was over. Jiada was also shocked. However, when he saw that Hui Tai Lang was still dozing off out of boredom, and Mr. Titan's chest was bleeding profusely like a fountain, he immediately calmed down. Although Jiada's 2 rock guards were beaten up just now, they were now showing their might. Their attributes were earth, so they could sense the presence of an invisible enemy from the slight vibrations on the ground. They flew up together and punched the ground with their 4 fists. The mine trembled and dust flew everywhere. A tall and skinny man wearing a black cloak appeared in a dark corner with his face covered. The long dagger in his hand was glowing with a dark green poisonous light. This person was the assassin. Damn it! The Xiapu brothers knew that this battle was over. If Little Titan died, then Mr. Titan would definitely take revenge. The innate rancor would be furious, and corpses would be strewn all over the mine. This invisible assassin was definitely here to cause trouble. The Xiapu brothers thought back to their previous preparations. They had not been successful until a few days ago, when they obtained a secret route and obtained a lot of weapons and food. Now they understood everything. They, the hard workers, had long been used as pawns by others. The dagger girl saw that Yu Yang's chest was bleeding profusely. She covered it with her hands but could not stop it. She shouted in fear, "Are you going to die?" Yu Yang pretended to be in pain and sighed, "It's a pity that I still have a great wish that I have yet to fulfill." The dagger girl was afraid that Yu Yang would die, so she hurriedly urged, "Tell me quickly, do you still have a wish? Tell me quickly, let me see if I can fulfill it for you." Yu Yang nodded. "You definitely can." He stretched out his bloody hand towards the dagger girl, pretending to be on the verge of death. "I want to confirm if your chest is really that small. I did not see it clearly just now. Let me touch it, if not, I will not die in peace." The dagger girl's first thought was to find a big hammer to smash this brat's head, then chop him into 18 pieces and feed him to the dogs. Chapter 379. Just as the dagger girl was about to throw a stone at Yu Yang's head angrily, she suddenly realized that Yu Yang's legs were stretched out, as if he was dead. She was so scared that her hands went limp, and the stone almost hit her toes. She tried to kick Yu Yang's body. Hey, are you really dead? My poor Mr. Tai Tan. The fat-toed Jiada cried loudly as he rushed forward. This performance was 100 times better than Yu Yang, who was pretending to be dead. Even if the best actor came, he would probably only be able to carry Jiada's shoes for him. The dagger girl immediately panicked when he scared her. She explained anxiously and fearfully. This fellow, he did not die because of me, it really wasn't me. I only wanted to scare him just now. Who knew that there was really an assassin? Is there really no hope? Then what do we do now? I don't know any healing skills, and I don't have any healing-type beasts. Someone come, quickly save him. She only thought of saving him now. Her reflexes were as thick as a dinosaur's. Luckily she did not look like a dinosaur, but more like a charming little fairy. On the other side, the Xiaopu brothers and the Ox-Head Man surrounded the assassin and attacked him. Although the assassin's strength was not as good as the three of them, he was very slippery and did not fight them head-on. The Xiaopu brothers could not do anything to him. Reinforcements arrived very quickly. 2 men who were as strong as the Xiaopu brothers rushed in from outside the tunnel. They punched heavily and sent the rock guards flying, meeting up with the assassin. This time, the strength of both sides was almost the same. The assassin was slightly stronger. This is a gift from our master, Blood River. I hope you like it. The assassin took advantage of the chaos to summon his smoke beast and escaped quickly. Don't chase. The Xiaopu brothers knew that they would not be able to win even if they chased after them. On their side, they had more than 100 subordinates surrounding them. They also had the help of the 2 rock guard leaders. The enemy could also come and go as they pleased. What could they do even if they chased after them? Before this battle even started, they had already fallen into the enemy's trap. The slaves who rebelled were just pawns. They became the sacrificial pawns to sow discord between the new innate ranker, Tai Tan, and one of the 3 leaders, Blood River. No matter what the result was, they would not be able to escape death. The only thing they could do now was to flee for their lives. Negotiation had already become an extravagant hope. The Xiaopu brothers looked at each other and nodded. Then, the eldest Xiaopu said, "Everyone, Mr. Little Titan's assassination is against our original plan. If Mr. Great Titan knew about it, he would definitely be furious. The anger of an innate ranker isn't something we can handle. If you have the ability, please leave this place immediately. If you have a family and cannot leave, please return to the cave and hide well. Do not let anyone know that you were here before. Because the plan has changed, the 2 of us are willing to take the blame. Everyone, let's go quickly. If we delay any longer, it will be too late." When the 100 or so guards heard this, they panicked. More than 10 of them immediately ran away. After they left, the remaining people were even more frightened. Like a swarm of bees, dozens more left. In the end, they came to bid farewell to the Xiaopu brothers and left with a sigh. Some of them didn't even look back. They were afraid that the innate rankers would arrive immediately. They even abandoned their weapons and ran for their lives. The Ox-Head Man was followed by a group of guards. They looked at the Xiaopu brothers and then at the trembling slaves behind them. The Ox-Head Man said, "Xiaopu and Xiaoer, leave with us. If you stay, you will definitely die. This isn't our fault. Even a blind man would know that this is a trap. The anger of an innate ranker isn't something you and I can handle. If no one stays behind to take the blame, I'm afraid that no one here will be able to live. Someone has to take responsibility for this. We can leave, but there are still many laborers here. They have families here and can't leave. I promised them that I would stand up for them. Now we have to stay behind and fulfill our promise." Xiaopu, who had a scar on his face, waved his hand and said, "Go! This started because of us. Mr. Little Titan was assassinated. We couldn't save him in time, and the assassin even escaped. We can't let no one stay behind to take responsibility. Then, good luck." The Ox-Head Man quickly led his team and left. He was afraid that the innate rancor, Mr. Great Titan, would arrive if they stayed any longer. Brother! The dagger girl finally recovered from her fear. You leave too. Leave this place immediately. Xia Pu ordered without any hesitation. Go back to the Gu Feng continent and never enter Tong Tian Tower again. No. The dagger girl's tears flowed like a spring. She screamed in despair. Unless you leave with me, I won't leave either. I can't leave you guys and go home alone. We promised Mother that we would enter Tong Tian Tower together to train and go home together. Fool, now is not the time to be impulsive. If you don't leave now, we will all die here. The second brother, Xia Er, raised his hand angrily and was about to slap his sister. Don't do it. The eldest brother, Xia Pu, pushed his brother's hand away and smiled at his tearful sister. If Mr. Great Titan is reasonable, he won't kill you too. We are also willing to stay behind and do hard labor to make up for this mistake. We will meet again one day. You should go back first. We have been away from home for more than a year. The hard labor might take a few years. Don't let Mother worry. So, you have to go back first. No, you guys are lying to me. You guys definitely won't come back. That fool is already dead, how can you guys still be alive? The dagger girl cried. Hurry up and leave. The younger brother, Xia Er, realized that something was wrong with the situation and shouted at the slaves. A shadow dashed over from afar. The people realized that this shadow looked exactly like Mr. Little Titan who was lying on the ground. He had the same golden mask, the same body shape, and the same outfit. He looked even more similar than the Xia Pu brothers. It was as if he was the same person. However, his strength was worlds apart from the one lying on the ground. Even a blind person could see that the Titan that came later was definitely an innate rancor. Just the aura of him flying over was like a hurricane that blew all the slaves to the ground. When he stared at the Xia Pu brothers, even the strong Xia Pu brothers felt suffocated. The Oxhead man and the guards who had already escaped to the entrance of the mine knelt down in fear, not daring to move at all. This Mr. Titan who came later casually tossed 3 bloody heads at Sharp's feet. Judging from the way they died, they belonged to the assassin and his 2 fellow assassins just now. Not only the Xia Pu brothers, even Jiada was a little dumbfounded. Why were there really 2 Mr. Titans? If it wasn't for the fact that he could smell the blood from Yu Yang's body with the Toad clan's natural ability, he would have been worried that Yu Yang would really die. Respected innate rancor, I admit that this is our fault. If you want to punish us, please punish me. I am their leader. Xia Pu braced himself and paid his respects to the innate rancor Titan before kneeling down to ask for forgiveness. As he kneeled down, he signaled his brother to step back and led his sister back into the crowd. No, it's all my fault. If I didn't catch that fool, he wouldn't have been assassinated. If you want to kill, kill me. The dagger girl rushed out and blocked her brother's way. It's over. Everyone's head exploded. If she said it like this, not just her, everyone would lose their lives. The Mr. Titan that came later's aura changed slightly. His killing intent exploded 1,000 times. Everyone trembled in fear as they knelt down on the ground. In front of an innate rancor, no one could even think of resisting. Even the Xia Pu brothers were completely disheartened. If the other party wanted to kill them, he could kill them with just 1 finger. It would be even easier than killing an ant. Would resistance work? Furthermore, it was a fact that they killed Mr. Little Titan because of the rebellion. This mistake could not be forgiven no matter what. The dagger girl was so scared that she trembled and almost fell to the ground. In the end, for some reason, she bit her lips and bravely puffed out her chest, which wasn't too big but was like a bamboo shoot. She shouted, "If killing me alone can appease your anger, then do it. I'm willing to pay with my life for that fool. Motherf *Ker, who's an idiot." Yu Yang suddenly stood up, giving the dagger girl a big scare. You didn't die?" The dagger girl immediately became happy. Nonsense. Yu Yang realized that this girl's reaction was different from normal girls. It was very interesting to tease her. Then quickly tell your brother that you didn't die. Tell him not to kill us. Oh yeah, didn't you get a dagger in your chest? How can you be fine? The dagger girl became more and more confused. She realized that the dragon armor on Yu Yang's chest wasn't even broken. Where did the blood that gushed out like a waterfall come from? Xia Pu and Xia Er looked at each other and smiled bitterly. They were different from their thick-skinned sister. They immediately understood that this was a trap. Mr. Titan knew that someone was playing tricks in the dark, so he sent his brother to put on a good show. In the end, everyone was fooled. The conspiracies behind the scenes were exposed, and Mr. Titan the Great was caught red-handed. Meanwhile, Mr. Titan Jr.'s death, no, his assassination, put all the laborers and slaves in the most disadvantageous position. Although Mr. Little Titan was fine, who knew how much hard labor he would have to do to repay this debt? It seemed like Mr. Titan never thought of killing the slaves who rebelled, but continued to enslave everyone. Otherwise, even if everyone had 100 lives, they would have died a long time ago. The Mr. Titan who came later was actually the evil Gemini image that Yu Yang summoned using the Gemini mask. The shadow had half of Yu Yang's strength, but it was hard to tell the real from the fake. However, Yu Yang didn't have the possibility of revealing the truth. He deliberately created this illusion. Especially the enemy. If the enemy knew that there were two Mr. Titans, they would have a headache. The evil Gemini image patted Yu Yang's shoulder lightly before disappearing in a flash. Just like before, it was unimaginably fast, and no one was able to react in time. Yu Yang continued to act as the bad guy. All those who abandon their brothers get lost. We don't need cowards who run away in the face of danger. Regardless of whether you're a guard or a slave, get out of my sight. As for you guys, because of your mistakes and bold offenses, especially you actually grabbed my collar and scolded me. Do you know what happened to the last person who scolded me? All of you serve hard labor for 100 years. Use the money you create to compensate for my mental damage. This is not fair. They can leave, but we have to stay here as slaves. A guard stood up and pleaded weakly, I also want to leave. Scram immediately. Yu Yang sent him flying with a kick and cursed, whoever wants to leave, scram immediately. As soon as he heard that he could forget about the past and leave, he could regain his freedom. Many slaves and guards rushed out and rushed to the Oxhead men's group. Although it was not good to bear the bad reputation of abandoning their comrades and running away in the face of danger, it was all worth it if they could gain their freedom. Notoriety was something that the Thunder Fortress, which was a den of thieves, did not lack at all. Betrayal, abandonment, and selfishness were all products of the Thunder Fortress. Things like justice, fairness, and sacrifice were rare. Other than more than 1,000 slaves who could not live after leaving the mine, and more than 10 guards who were loyal to the Xia Pu brothers, the rest of the people had left. Among them, it was not that they did not want to leave, but they could not. They had no one to rely on, and other than mining, they had no other skills. Leaving meant that they would starve to death. Staying here to do hard labor was miserable, but wasn't it the same in the past? It was just a different name. Maybe this little Titan would be more merciful than Ndong and let everyone eat their fill. Being a slave and doing hard labor, as long as they could eat their fill, it was enough. Could it be that they really wanted to get shares and bonuses? You guys, go and release Mr. Yan Jing. Yu Yang first ordered the Xia Pu brothers, then pointed at the dagger girl. You, from now on, will be my female slave, follow me back. No. The dagger girl's mind flashed with the image of her being held by an iron chain while this damned little Titan was holding a whip and dragging her to the street. She immediately screamed in fear. I don't want to be a female slave for a second generation like you. Dream on, I will not be your female slave even if I die. You pervert, if you dare to take another step forward, I will kill myself. Mr. Titan, this girl is boorish and has no chest. She is not suitable to be a female slave. I have a half-elf girl, she has a youthful face and huge breasts. She is obedient and good at cooking, tailoring and other life skills. If I use her to take care of your daily life, you will definitely be satisfied. Mr. Jiada immediately recommended his biggest trump card to Yu Yang, and swore that the half-elf girl with a youthful face and huge breasts was a virgin. According to what he said, this half-elf girl had been raised as a woman since she was born. She had not even seen a real man before. She was just waiting for Yu Yang to be the first one to open her eyes. Youthful face and huge breasts? Actually, Yu Yang was not unfamiliar with this, because the great Sora Aoi-sensei had once comforted an otaku's soul. However, what would a half-elf girl with a youthful face and huge breasts look like? Yu Yang immediately nodded his head, looking as if he was bewitched by her beauty. Alright, this girl who looks like she has neither a chest nor a brain is definitely not good enough. I don't care about her at all. Let's take a look at your half-elf girl. Does she really look like a child with big breasts? The dagger girl was so angry that her lungs were about to explode. Her small breasts were her fatal weakness. Who would have thought that this damned brat would continuously attack her? I'll kill you! She rushed forward crazily, swearing to kill this hateful pervert. Chapter 380. Yu Yang returned to Endong's mansion. Behind him was the dagger girl who insisted on taking revenge even after being beaten 10 times by him. She didn't understand. She was obviously stronger than this brat, so how could she be beaten by him? Furthermore, he didn't seem to have used his full strength. I will kill you, pervert, and get rid of a scourge for the people. The dagger girl swore that she would definitely kill this brat to prevent him from harming the women of this world. As for whether she was angry at him for saying that her chest was small, she would definitely not admit it. Mr. Little Titan, I hope that the laborers can eat their fill. The Xiapu brothers also followed. They didn't mention any shares anymore and had to face reality. That depends on my mood. Yu Yang was very arrogant. We will work hard, even harder than before. As long as everyone has food to eat and the sick can be treated, then our mining speed can be doubled. I guarantee that it will be even more than before. The Xiapu brothers felt that it was okay for those who were not united to leave. Although there were only 1,000 people left, if they all listened to their commands, mining would definitely not be a problem. Let her become a female slave. I will enslave her until she suffers unbearable pain, until she goes crazy. Haha. Yu Yang expressed that he had the tendency to abuse others. Dream on. The dagger girl was very angry when she heard this, but she didn't rush forward to stab Yu Yang's chest with her dagger anymore. This was because after 10 failures, she completely understood that she wasn't this brat's opponent. His strength might not be high, but he had countless treasures. Any treasure could help him defeat her. Although she had a fiery temper, she didn't have the special hobby of being abused even though she knew it was impossible. The Xiapu brothers smiled bitterly at each other. Of course they knew that this Mr. Little Titan didn't lack women at all. He was just too free and bored, so he had to tease his own sister. If he was really a playboy, he wouldn't do this. However, their thick-skinned sister couldn't understand the other party's teasing at all. She insisted on competing with the other party, which was exactly what the other party wanted. However, if she didn't retaliate after suffering a loss, she wouldn't be their sister. It was just that her personality was really, fortunately, she met this boring Mr. Little Titan. If he was a real playboy, she might have been caught and made a slave. Mr. Yanjing was that serious and old-fashioned man. He had been locked up by the Xiapu brothers for a few days and had just been released. His face was still expressionless, and he only walked out after Yu Yang and the dagger girl finished their fight. I have a suggestion. Every worker who works normally will be paid 1 gold coin a day. They will be paid when they are injured, but they will not be paid when they are sick. Every time a worker dug out a top-grade ore, they would receive 1,000th of the reward. If they did not report it, they would be severely punished. When the laborers had saved enough money, they could apply to leave the mine or apply for residency. In addition, laborers are allowed to set up stalls outside the mine and exchange daily necessities with each other. He listed a lot of terms that were beneficial to the laborers. Of course, these were even more beneficial to Yu Yang. As long as these laborers could resume their work, this amount of money was simply a drop in the ocean. Of course, compared to Ndong's stingy behavior, this term was much better. He believed that with this term, the laborers would not rebel anymore. One more term. Those who do not contribute for a month, get them to scram. I will definitely not support lazy people. Yu Yang did not have any opinion on paying them to work. Don't worry, as long as we follow what Mr. Yanjing said, we will all work hard. Xiaopu believed that if the laborers knew that there would be a salary and reward for their new master, they would definitely work hard even if they were to die from exhaustion. In the past, Ndong did not even have enough food to eat. He directly caught slaves and threw them into the mine to dig for ores. When they died, he would be replaced with another bat. It's useless to just talk. Yu Yang asked Jiada to chase the Xiaopu brothers out of the door. When the dagger girl saw that her brother had left, she stomped her feet and chased after him. Although she was a little careless, it did not mean that she was not smart. She was afraid that Yu Yang would close the door and release the dogs, or put a metal chain around her neck, so she quickly slipped away. She had to put her revenge aside first. Before she left, she kicked Yu Yang, still filled with hatred. Looking at this brat's expression of enjoyment, she was furious. Who knew that she had used too much strength in her kick? Not only did she miss her kick, Yu Yang even lifted her leg, causing her to almost fall on her buttock. This time, she was really embarrassed. She quickly climbed up and ran out of the door with her face red and ears hot under Yu Yang's loud laughter. Naturally, she hated him even more. She swore that if she had the chance, she would definitely kill this brat so that he would not be so arrogant. As soon as she left, two men came from behind. Posting. Blood River and Mountain Elf jointly invited Yu Yang to attend the annual auction in the Thunder Fortress, the City of Depravity, the day after tomorrow. Didn't your master ask you to say anything? Yu Yang asked. With Mr. Titan's intelligence, he would definitely understand that this is an enemy trying to sow discord. My master, Blood River, is very hospitable. Not to mention a distinguished guest like Mr. Titan, even a normal merchant would be treated with respect. Why would he try to assassinate you? The tall man on the left replied word by word. It seemed like this guy was also a manager who followed the rules. Where's your master? What did he say? Yu Yang looked at the short and fat man. Mr. Titan, my master, Mountain Elf, has long admired you. He is willing to form an alliance with you two Mr. Titans and share our benefit. The short and fat man was full of smiles. Let's not talk about forming an alliance first. We have no interest in the Thunder Fortress. We are just passing by. Maybe we will be tired one day and we will leave. I don't care about your business, but if you provoke me, my brothers will definitely kill your whole family. Yu Yang smiled indifferently and waved his hand like a superior. The two of them hurriedly took their leave. After settling the matter of the mine, other than obtaining a fixed income from the mine, Yu Yang also successfully formed a grudge with Demon Eye. This way, he would have a reason to take revenge. Fight monsters and snatch treasures. Yu Yang's purpose of coming to the Thunder Fortress was very clear. Furthermore, after killing monsters, he could also exchange for treasures at the Warriors Guild or the Mercenaries Guild. There were quite a number of wanted criminals on the Bloody Fallen list here. Many of them were not rewarded with money, but with treasures. For example, Nightmare, Tiger Nyen and the others were all people with high rewards. Demon Eye and the others were also people with high rewards. Yu Yang could be said to be killing 3 birds with 1 stone. Yu Yang didn't care about the battle arena because he was prepared to sell it. Firstly, it could eliminate some people's worries and prevent them from thinking of entering the Thunder Fortress. Secondly, the battle arena didn't earn much money, but it could be easily used by enemies. He didn't want to be like Ndong, who was caught by others. Everything was left to Jiada and Yanjing. Jiada was in charge of money and business was his forte. He was also very loyal to Yu Yang. Yanjing was an old-fashioned butler. If it wasn't for Mr. Chen's introduction, he wouldn't have helped Yu Yang. However, he was the kind of person who would work for anyone once he had a job. After leaving the Thunder Fortress, Yu Yang returned to the plaza on the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. In front of him, the golden elf Bao Er was still holding the signboard looking for Yu Yang. However, her tone wasn't as polite as before. On it was written, "Liar Titan, if you don't reply, I'm going to get angry." There was even a drawing of Bao Er's cute angry face. With regards to this big lowly golden elf, Yu Yang was very happy. Teasing this big lowly was also a joy in life. Fatty Hai, Yi Kong and the others were either sitting or lying down lazily on the ground. Their bodies were covered in blood. It seemed like they had just gone through an intense battle. Fortunately, none of them were injured. The golden elf Anna was using her beast skills to heal them. The ox-head Fan Luantai was eating a piece of roasted meat as she muttered, "That liar might have already gone to the 7th floor of Tong Tian Tower. It's a waste of time for us to wait for him here." "Alright, damn Fatty, what was that move you used just now?" "Hey, I'm talking to you, how dare you ignore me?" Seeing Yu Yang walking over, Fatty Hai was stunned for a moment before laughing out loud. "Ah, it's just a small trick. It can't even be compared to your barbaric charge." Chirp. As Yu Yang walked past Bao Er, he even rubbed the signboard lightly and whistled. "Can you look where you're going?" Bao Er hated people walking so close to her. She put down the signboard to check if it was damaged. She even wiped the places that she touched, implying that she couldn't let outsiders dirty the signboard. If it wasn't for the lack of water, she would probably have to wash it again. Seeing Yu Yang whistling and teasing Bao Er, Fan Luantai immediately threw the roasted meat in her hands towards Yu Yang. She was about to flare up. Yi Kong held back his laughter and hurriedly stopped her. "Don't be rash, this might be a misunderstanding." The ox-head Fan Luantai pushed him away. "Monkey, stay away. You guys don't know this, but this isn't the first time this brat has done this. Last time, he purposely rubbed against Bao Er. This time, he's doing it again. If it wasn't for the fact that we have more people, he might have even stretched out his hands. Don't be afraid, Bao Er, I'll help you teach him a lesson. This brat is very weak. He only has a body full of treasures. If I stretch out my hand, his balls will explode and he will die." When Yu Yang heard this, he was so scared that he shivered. Dying by exploding his balls, it was really too awesome. He pretended to be so scared that he cut a sorry figure and ran into the warriors' guild like a wisp of smoke. Seeing that he ran so fast, Fan Luantai waved her fists angrily. She felt that if she wasn't tired from fighting, she would definitely tear this brat's ribs apart. Fatty Hai, Yi Kong and the Li brothers laughed out loud, especially Fatty Hai, who laughed so hard that he rolled on the floor. Xue Tanlang, Prince of Tianluo, Oxhead Party leader Li Ao and Lin En, had just gathered from afar. Seeing that they were laughing so happily, they asked curiously. Oxhead Party leader Li Ao and Lin En didn't think that it was funny, so why were Fatty Hai and the rest laughing so hard? Not only them, even Xue Tanlang, who had been frozen for thousands of years, had a smile on his face, making Lin En sigh in amazement. "Is it really that funny?" The 4 orc girls who loved to laugh looked at each other in confusion. "Funny, I'm dying of laughter." Fatty Hai laughed until his whole body went limp, lying on the floor unable to get up. Anna furrowed her pretty eyebrows, as if she had understood something. In the Warriors Guild, Jen wasn't around. Instead, a shrewd yet slightly arrogant man received Yu Yang, the mercenary who claimed to have completed a bounty mission. He felt that there was no need to claim the bounty on the second floor of the Warriors Guild after completing the mission of collecting chicks and ducklings. This was the place where the real rankers came. A level 6 elder, like Yu Yang, should be envious of others going up to the second floor. Of course, he still maintained his politeness and didn't show his displeasure. He asked casually, "What bounty mission did you complete?" Hearing Yu Yang's words, this guy was almost scared to the ground. This was because Yu Yang said, "I've completed a few, but I'll claim Nightmare and Tiger Nian's bounty first. If you don't mind, I'd like to exchange all the bounty for wisdom fruit." He took out Nightmare and Tiger Nian's severed heads from his lich ring and placed them in front of the receptionist. That guy was so scared that his face turned pale. "Nightmare and Tiger Nian, you killed 2 innates?" That guy was so scared that he couldn't speak. "Lower your voice. If I want to publicize it, I'll hire someone else to do it. I don't need you to speak so loudly. Take out the bounty I want, your job is that simple." Yu Yang's tone was very light, as if he didn't kill innates, but 2 chicks. "Here, here, here." That receptionist quickly verified the bounty and recorded it on Yu Yang's star badge. Then, he opened a secret door and took out a bag filled with wisdom fruit. With trembling hands, he passed it to Yu Yang. Yu Yang didn't even bother to count the number of wisdom fruits. After storing them into his lich ring, he turned around and left. That receptionist asked weakly, "Respected innate ranker, can you forgive my offense and give me an autograph?" Yu Yang waved his hand. "I forgive you, we'll talk about it next time." The receptionist bowed excitedly, deeply, and with incomparable respect. He saluted Yu Yang's back. After Yu Yang walked far away, a few receptionists who were so scared that they didn't dare to move all gathered around and looked at the 2 heads on the counter with trembling eyes. Until now, they still couldn't believe that this was the truth. Nightmare and Tiger Nian, these 2 murderous innate rankers, were actually killed. The arrogant Yu Yang met Fatty Hai and the others not long after he left the shop. He couldn't escape in time and was caught red-handed by Fan Luan Tai, the Oxhead girl. "Brat, let's see where you can run to now." Oxhead girl Fan Luan Tai grabbed onto Yu Yang's collar. She was prepared to use the most terrifying technique in the world, the Great Strength King Kong Claw Egg Breaking technique, to deal with Yu Yang. This was a vicious move. Fatty Hai and the others quickly stopped her. Even Shui Tan Lang helped to persuade her. This concerned his future brother-in-law's happiness. They had to persuade him. "Do you guys know this brat?" Now, even the thick-skinned Oxhead girl Fan Luan Tai felt that something was wrong. "If that's the case, he does look familiar." Fatty Hai circled around Yu Yang twice. "Tisk." Oxhead girl Fan Luan Tai knew that she didn't know him. Wearing a broken mask, it's really ugly. Bao Er felt that Yu Yang must be disfigured, or he must be the son of a nouveau riche. Otherwise, why would he be so ostentatious? This brat's strength is so trashy, why didn't others snatch his mask? This is a gold-ranked treasure. Could it be that the security of the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower has suddenly become better? The 4 orc girls laughed out loud. Hearing their words, Anna's heart stirred slightly, and her doubts were suddenly cleared up. Just when Fan Luan Tai let go of Yu Yang and told him to scram, she stretched out her hand and stopped Yu Yang, who was pretending to be scared. Yu Yang suppressed his voice and said, "You want to snatch my mask? This is the entrance of the Warrior Guild. Although you guys have a lot of people, the guards of the Warrior Guild will come out if I shout." Bao Er spat lightly and said, "Who cares about your treasure? Scram quickly, I hate you, the son of a nouveau riche, the most. Who are you trying to show off to? I don't care about your stupid mask." Anna smiled and gestured for everyone to be quiet. She then said gently to Yu Yang, "Don't be afraid, I just want to ask you a few questions. You can leave after I'm done." Yu Yang still wanted to refuse, but Fan Luan Tai waved her giant hands, indicating that if he didn't accept the interrogation, she would smash his eggs. Fatty Hai and the others were so happy that their intestines were cramping, but they couldn't laugh out loud. They held it in with all their might and stood at the side to watch the show. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.